What's up, you guys? K-Mac here. I'm sorry, I meant to start this earlier. I realized I've been sitting out here so long that my battery hit 80% when it started at 100. I'm sorry, I was dealing with I was like writing a letter. Normally I write my own shit, but this needed to be like a form letter because I'm submitting this huge complaint. I, dude, I was on the phone with the IRS for like over 2 fucking hours last night because some lady literally laughed at me as she hung up. I mean, this is why I might be in a slightly worse mood than usual. Also, my ribs are still killing me. It still feels like I was just in a car accident here. So just from that fall. So anyway, I'm a little off or slow or just sound a little bit more sour grapes or whatever. Like sound more Tophia-ish maybe. The That's just why I'm not feeling so good. My ribs are still fucking killing me, and IRS, and especially being overseas, and then this lady essentially blackmailed me at the end because I wanted to speak to her supervisor, but to do that, you have to submit a request to do so, which can take up to 24 hours. And since I'm 11, I'm a huge, I don't even know how many hours, like a huge time zone difference from where it meant I could be getting this call at like 3 in the morning, which would be like morning or afternoon there or some shit I'm far, almost as far as I could be from when I started. Actually, as far, but daylight savings changes things. But anyway, so it was essentially a threat. Like, okay, so then I'll hang up on you a second time, and then you just have to wait for us to call you back. Which, by the way, if she had called me back at that number and it wasn't on Wi-Fi calling at the time, each minute here is 50 seconds, and each phone call was the first one was 45 minutes, and the second was over an hour. So those two calls together would have been almost 100. They would have been 80 something dollars. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm been complaining about this. It was just fucking horrible night, and like my ribs are killing me, and the garden was full too, so I'm sitting in a stairwell again. But it's cool at least. I just terrible night, not a great morning. Yeah. So anyway, here's Tophia. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Heinz Bug. Shout out to Santoki, who Tophia clearly watches a lot of. Shout out to the lovely, lovely Tophia archive who makes all this possible. Shout out to Vocal, who once again just got monetized. Congratulations, bro. That's huge. I don't know why. To me, it was appearing at first as if you had way fewer subs than you did. So you're actually right. It really was weird that you didn't get monetized sooner. Um, that might have something to do with maybe like minimum views on videos. That's the only thing I can think of because you have had the subs and you had enough consistency in your uploads. Usually within like a couple hundred views each video, but well into like I don't know what is it around 2,000 per video for you, 3,000. You a lot of people fucking watch you, bro. Hey, you're fucking popular. You're a cool dude too. Or at least you seem that way from all the interactions I've had with you, and you've always been nice to me. So anyway, shout out again to you, man. And then shout out to the fans. Shout out to Ray D. Shout out to Sung Jing, and shout out to Scotly Puff. I hope I say that right. It's not supposed to be Scootly. I'm assuming Scotly since it's two
Say, hey,
C's.
start
Anyway, I'm
all
gonna
up.
try and be
Maybe I
fast today
should. I didn't
so
look
my
like
battery
this.
doesn't
My
die,
life
and
would
so I don't have to
be
go back
way
inside and bother
different.
my
I
wife
should
who's
just
working.
stop eating at all.
That's one reason I
Yeah,
like to
I
go
got
outside
friends, right? But
when,
sometimes I feel
yeah,
like I'm
not all the
boring to
time, but
be
like
around.
when my wife
Because
works,
my dad
so I don't
called me
bother.
a fat cow.
Like, there's no way I would sit inside and do this commentary while she works from home in this apartment that we're in. Sorry, guys, I'm just moving so my ribs. Yeah, I just have to
I'm so sick and tired of
move
people
an
saying
ice
they're
pick.
not jealous, but when someone sends money,
Ice pick here
then
for
you're all
me.
mad about it. How am I gonna bury my brother if I need clothes because I have no clothes?
Oh
I'm
my
not gonna go get
God!
my brother's ashes out.
Suddenly it's close.
People saying that I've
We'll
already
we'll
explained that.
we'll let it get there
Subscribe
in
if you
video.
enjoy, please.
I'm not
I
doing good.
shouldn't stop
It's
it.
just I was doing good, and then my health, and then I had a headache, and now it's just because I have the stress, and
Oh,
now
speaking of
it's really
health, I need
down.
to take some
Are
more
you
fucking
sick?
Advil.
Yeah, I had
Been
a headache
taking
all day.
Advil like
It
I
went away,
used to take morphine right now
but
because I'm so fucked up.
I'm not feeling too good.
I think
I will
Advil's
be able to
true.
go
I can't
live
take
on TikTok. I
Tylenol or
don't know, maybe tomorrow.
paracetamol
We'll
or whatever
see.
it's called, where you
Thank
are
you. I mean, not really.
apacetamic.
I'm just
I
having
forget
a
what
hard
apacet
time,
stands for.
but it's
What
okay.
stands for?
No, nobody told me to get
Oh, it
well.
stood for
No, I don't have a
apacet.
place to play Fortnite. We're
Pretty sure
back. Sorry, guys.
the
Oh
name
my god.
drops shit
My
like that.
stomach is killing me.
Sorry, I
I
like
do
to
not
pronounce
feel
like
good. My stomach.
have like a fucking street degree in pharmacology. I swear to fucking Christ, like you name a drug, I'm gonna tell you what it does and the side effects. You could be talking about cancer drugs, like anti whatever, because I just have experience like everything at this point. It's
No, it's not
crazy.
my period. I'm just. No, I don't
Anyway,
have a
so
place to play for. We'll see. Thank
so I
you.
was
I
just
mean,
you know
not
like
really.
popping these
I'm just
Advils
having
like
a hard
crazy.
time.
Oh, anyway, the point I was trying to get is because Tophia with the Tylenol overdose or 7 Tylenol, which I've addressed before. If they're regular strength Tylenol, I believe that's either 250 or 300 milligrams, being as liberal as we could be. 300 milligrams would be a dose of 2100 milligrams, which is well within the 3000 milligram safety. Now, that 3000 milligram safety, I've talked about this before, so I'll talk about it as quickly as possible. That 3000 milligram safety changed within my lifetime, and within most people's lifetime watching this video. It used to be 4000, they dropped it because Tylenol is very toxic on the liver, especially if you take a lot. It's very acutely toxic on the liver, it can cause acute liver damage. So she could have killed herself if she took a lot of it. Problem is, taking 300 regular, 300 milligram Tylenol is not going to do that. That's well within the dosage limits, especially for someone of her size. She's going to be able to take a little bit more than the average person. And Tophia, although the downside is Tophia definitely already has fatty liver disease. She can talk about it like cirrhosis and shit all she wants. She 100% has fatty liver disease because of her diet and her size and everything like that. Like I promise you, just from tons of experience about livers in particular. You know, kidneys. I have a friend who knows a lot more. It was with her dad. But you know, liver, I'd be the expert out of everyone I know, including some doctors. And like, it's just because of what I went, you know, like everything I read when I was a kid, like the entire like medical books, like about it, you know, it's crazy. So yeah, Tylenol used to be the number one medication overdose on that resulted in hospital visits. Again, because it's so acutely toxic to the liver. But here's the thing: even if she took 600 milligram extra strengths, right? Let's say there's 600 milligram, again, being as liberal as possible, extra strengths, 600 milligrams. That would still only be 4,200 milligrams, which would be just outside of the old limit. You know, the limit that was, I forget, it was, they changed it maybe 10 or 15 years ago, around that. We'll say 10, 12 and a half years after. We'll average it out. Right around 12 and a half years ago, they changed the limit from 4,000 to 3,000. However, that doesn't simply mean that if you take over 3,000, you're going to die, you know, or over 4,000, you're going to die. You need to take a significant amount over that to, well, not necessarily. That's why they dropped it. Because, well, the thing is, the reason they dropped it, this is with medicine and stuff, they like really large safety margins for medications like that, right? Because if the average person might take, you know, the average person is not even going to listen to what's on the bottle. If they have pain all day, they're just going to fucking keep taking Tylenol, keep taking Advil, whatever, not realize what it does to you. In particular, Tylenol on your liver, Advil and other NSAIDs don't really do this. Sorry, we're going into pharmacology lesson just to prove that when Tophia talks about this shit, she's fucking clueless. So, you know, I'm just popping Advils like I used to
But
pop
it's
morphine.
okay. No,
But
no,
the point is, the Tylenol amount she took, even if she took 4,200 milligrams of Tylenol, she would have been fine. Like, the worst thing that would have happened if, since she went to the hospital so quickly, is they would have pumped her stomach. They probably would have got a huge portion of it out of there undigested, unless she took it on a completely empty stomach, which for Tofi is impossible to believe. I used to intentionally take things on empty stomachs because it would hit you harder, you know, than if you ate it with food. Like, so I used to do that shit a lot. I used to plan my meals around getting high. But which is a weird thing to actually say out loud. But
nobody
yeah,
told me to get a job. No, I don't have a place
sorry.
to
Anyway,
play
that's the end of my
Fortnite. You're
rant
back.
about
Sorry,
Sophia's
I don't know
Tylenol
why.
overdose and her
Something is
potential
killing
future
me. I
Tylenol
do not
overdoses.
feel
Unless
good.
she takes an
My
amount
stomach.
upwards of
No, it's
5,000
not my
milligrams,
period.
she's
I'm
gonna be
just
fine.
sad. That's all. My own personal thinking. If I wasn't thinking like this, to be honest
And
with you,
for
if
her,
I
just
hadn't
based on
said
her
some
size
things,
and
I feel
weight,
like
she'd
it
be
would be
5,000
different.
too.
But
It's just not more.
because
If
of,
she did more than
I don't
weight,
know,
it would be
nobody
the
wants someone
like
that's
2 days in a row,
depressed or
10,000
that calls
milligrams would
themselves
probably
ugly.
be really, really bad.
That's my problem. That's
And
my
for most
issue.
people, it probably results in
Nobody
hospital
wants to love
visits
someone that's
and end of day.
that calls themselves.
Anyway, let's
Nobody
go
wants
to
someone
Tophia
that's
ranting about
depressed
her
or that
loving
calls themselves
someone that
ugly. That's
doesn't
my
love
problem.
her and doesn't
That's
care
my
about her.
issue.
Her
Nobody wants
issue
to love
is,
someone that calls themselves ugly.
yeah, well, most
That's
people
just
don't
what
want
I
to date
think.
someone that
In my
has no
opinion, it's my
self-confidence, you
fault.
know?
I wish I wouldn't
One reason
talk
my
down on
wife was so
myself like
attracted
that,
to me is
cause
I had a huge amount of
but it's
self-confidence
hard.
at the time, more than I even have
Other
now,
people don't
actually.
have
But,
these problems, especially
you
if
know,
they're conventionally attracted. They don't have that problem.
she bitches all the time about how that's not true, about how how unattractive, like people unconventionally attractive people can be just as beautiful and deal with the same shit. Now she's saying the exact opposite.
But
But
that's my own
sorry, I paused
personal
already.
belief. So
It's just her own
I don't
personal
know.
opinion.
I don't want to call myself that because then it makes things worse. But again,
Do you
nobody wants someone that's
want
depressed or
to?
talks down on
That's really
themselves.
sorry.
So,
Laughing actually
yeah,
hurts, but wow,
that's
I
not
can't
guilt
believe she just
tripping.
said that.
That's being truthfully honest. I'm
Fucking
telling the truth.
moron.
How is that guilt tripping? That is really true. Why
Because
would someone
you've
want to
told the
date
truth
somebody
a
that talks
million
down on
different
themselves? Because
times.
then they
That's
have
why
to
it's
keep
guilt trip.
telling them reassuring, or I
In
don't know how to
itself is
explain it. No one
very
wants to keep
true.
doing
It
that,
hurts
right?
a little bit. It in
It
itself
has
is not
nothing
guilt
to do with
tripping.
guilt
It's
tripping
everything
anyone.
around
Who
it
am I
makes
guilt
it guilt
tripping?
tripping.
No one.
You're guilt
I
tripping
don't
all of
have
your
anyone
fans. What the fuck are you
to
talking
guilt
about?
trip. I'm just
You're
telling
guilt tripping the only people you communicate with. You literally communicate with no one else except your fans and whoever at the shelter gives you like a box
it
lunch.
like it is. Well, the
I
doctor
don't know
didn't
what else to
recommend
say.
meds. He said that I should be on
Once again, here's the meds. How many times will she say the word side effects within her conversation about
them,
it?
and that's not gonna fix my thinking. Do you think that's gonna
She's
fix?
she's so fucking stupid. She doesn't understand how it works. She doesn't understand that yes, it would fix her thinking just enough to change just enough that she could start. It would snowball. She's so stupid. She doesn't realize that. Unfucking believable. Anyway, I hope what I said earlier about medication and stuff proves my bona fides when it comes to this shit. She has no fucking idea what she's talking about when it comes to SSRIs and SNRIs, or even an MAOI in her case, like whatever. You can give her the really old school hardcore stuff. Like, who the fuck cares? Like,
So
she
love
needs
life?
something. That actually does have bad side effects, by the way. MAOI
Because
is
I
in
don't think
almost
that's
like
gonna
every
fix
category of mental.
that. Like, yeah, it's gonna fix me not being depressed.
I don't think it's gonna fix that. I mean, yeah, it'll totally fix me, and I won't be depressed anymore, which is the entire reason am the way I am and why I'm so miserable. But besides that, it's not gonna change anything. It'll literally just change everything essentially. But it's not, like why would I bother with that? It's not really that big of a
My
deal.
mom had a friend that took depression meds.
Wait, she start is she starting the
That,
side
like, yeah, it's
effects?
gonna fix me not being depressed, or
Yes,
maybe I
that's
might
huge. If it fixes you not being depressed,
get
that
worse.
changes everything else.
My mom had a friend that
Of course, it can make it worse. There's a million different SSRIs and SNRIs on the market now. I say both because they're kind of interchangeable. If I'm not mistaken, SNRIs are a little bit newer. They have a little bit they have fewer side effects, or their side effects are not as strong. But if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, I mean, Sophia, it would
took
change all of that. That'd be
depression meds
huge.
and she got worse. Not saying
Yeah, that's one anecdotal person and that is a real side effect. I don't know what. So they're thinking, like it ranges. If you guys have ever read the paper that comes with the medication, most of you have never read the entire fucking thing. It actually shows a lot of useful information in there about the drug that you're taking, like a lot, including like some useful graphs and shit like that. Gives you half-lives and stuff like that. And it also gives you all the side effects, and it defines what different side effect categories are. For example, common side effects versus uncommon side effects versus rare versus extremely rare versus like almost black swan events, essentially, where it's like 1 out of 100,000. So, well, that's not maybe black swan, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like they rank it in terms of, they rank it in terms of likelihood of
that,
it
like,
happening.
yeah, it's gonna fix me not being
Sorry, I'm using
depressed, or maybe I
Wi-Fi.
might get worse.
But yeah,
My
they
mom had a
rank
friend that
the
took
side effects and the likelihood
depression
you
meds
are
and
to
she
get
got
them
worse.
and
Not
how
saying that
bad
that's
they
gonna
are.
be me because everybody is different. But yeah, hearing
See,
her take a
and I
pill
always say this about Tophia. She's putting the cart before the horse. She's assuming, oh, these won't help me, so why bother
be
taking them?
happy. It's not gonna fix the other
God, why don't you pause
issues
this so
that I
much,
have. I
guys?
don't want to be medicated, okay?
Yes,
You
it
go get
will.
medicated.
And by the way, with SSRIs and SNRIs, one of the best things about it is if you take them the way you're prescribed supposed to, and you dose down the way you're supposed to, the withdrawals are not that bad for them compared to going from like 800 milligrams a day of like Effexor to zero, where you're gonna feel like shit, but if you taper down gently or you're not in a huge dose, like you're gonna be fine from any of that shit. And one of the big things about SSRIs and SNRIs is for a lot of people, especially with depression, they're not meant to. You're not. Some people do choose to take them forever, the way I choose to take my Suboxone forever, because every time I come off of it, I relapse. And some people might, every time they stop taking their SSRIs, get depressed again. But Tophia, one of the huge things about that category of medications is that a lot of people will start taking them. They'll take them for like a couple months, maybe a year, to get over whatever trauma they went through, the trauma that you always talk about, like going through and sifting through and how you're like reacting to it every fucking day, you're still reacting to trauma. What they do is you take them for like a year, right? So you give them the time to start working, you give them the time to then have effects on you, and it gives you time to change things about your life. So that's the whole point of it is to usually, in most cases, get you over a hump so that you then start changing all those things yourself and then you can stop taking the medication safely. You taper down and stop taking it. You don't have to take it forever. You could try that, but you're not even willing to try that. And she doesn't even realize that's probably a possibility. She's, again, Tophia is so narrow-minded. I think she's so naive and so ignorant about so much shit that she just assumes that, oh, antidepressant equals forever, which is far from the case. Now, my medications, I take them forever because I'm bipolar too. I don't want to have a depression that's really bad, especially because unlike Tophia, I can't just take an SSRI or an SNRI. They have different effects on bipolar people, which are extremely negative. But anyway, once
Medication
again,
isn't
I'm
gonna
getting
fix
into
you
like
being happy.
pharmacology that
The only thing
even
I'm
if I
gonna say
fucking threw this information at her in the form of a fucking textbook and I made it a fucking picture book, she still wouldn't understand what I'm talking about.
is
So
that I'm trying to change my thinking, but it's already
yeah,
a
you just admitted that that would change your entire depression. You would no longer be depressed. That's changing your thinking. But why bother taking a pill to do that when you can literally lay around crying and not ever change? Because you never change. You've literally been doing this for years. I mean, since your brother died, it's been a year and a half almost at this point. It's been at least a year and a quarter. I know that much for sure. It's almost at a year and a half. What the fuck are you talking about?
unfixable
And
thing. So
before that, you guys were in
it's
the
too
car for
late for
however
that.
long, at least a
I
year. And
do
before
talk
that,
to a
you guys were
therapist. What
like
does a
living in a
therapist
fucking
really tell me,
apartment
right?
that.
I've already with a unfixable thing, so
Oh,
it's
here's
too
she
late for
finally
that.
mentions your therapist
I
again.
do talk to a therapist. What
Oh,
is a
you haven't mentioned a therapist in like at least a week of videos, if not
therapist gonna
more.
tell me, right? I've already
Oh,
went
what's a
through this
therapist
with
gonna?
people.
I'm going to a therapist. I already went. I go to a therapist, but what's a therapist gonna tell me? I've gone to a therapist. Literally, can't. Again, she's like the queen of doublespeak. She's like the Donald Trump of doublespeak, but just for like stupid idiots on the internet. It's unbelievable.
Oh, keep going.
It's
I'm
just an
not
excuse
thinking
now for
about
why she
harming
doesn't
myself.
go to a
Yes,
therapist anymore. That right there is just because someone had mentioned it in chat and she had to respond to it. And now she's never going to mention it again
not
unless someone
harming
else brings
myself,
it up.
but I do have some slight issues. It's hard. Depression medication is not gonna fix you
Yes,
from
it
the thoughts
is.
of comparing
Yes, it
yourself to
is.
another
Yes, it
girl
is.
or
Yes, it
another
is.
person.
It stops those things. It arrests them or it reduces their in. You're so stupid. But why would you know? Because you refuse to try. This is Sophia and a lot of Lockel's problems is they refuse to change or try anything new. It's almost unbelievable at
Yes,
a certain
like
point.
conventionally attractive girls do have issues,
Of
but
course,
not
all of
to
a
the
sudden
extent
now it's about
of
how
life
you
issues.
look.
Yeah, maybe some of them do,
Of course, now
but
it's about
they have a
how
great
you look.
love
When
life.
Sophia is always like, "It looks don't matter." Hey, Lizzo, attractive woman, we should have five XLs should be common. Now it's like, well, conventionally attractive women don't have problems.
Me, it's
You're
horrible.
such a
I
fucking
just
bitch.
gave
That's such a bitch ass thing to say.
up a long time ago.
Yeah, tell that to a fucking bulimic girl, okay? See how she feels about your fucking lazy homeless ass laying in a shelter all day versus her working, busting her ass to get a job. Sorry, my breathing hurts, but maybe having like a fucking maybe having bulimia or eating disorder. Sorry guys, breathing really hurt there.
Why even
Sorry, I
try
keep
it? All I
pausing. I
do
need to
is
stop
just
pausing
get
because
hurt.
I'm already at
Depression
almost
medication
20
isn't
minutes.
going to
I have to
fix
stop
that.
pausing.
Oh,
Yes, it
you could
will.
do that
Once again,
alongside
I went
therapy.
over it. It
What's the
gets you over the
therapist
hump.
gonna
I'm not
tell
going
me?
to pause it for
The
it again. It
therapist
does
already
change
told me
that. If
what I
you're on it
tried
for
to
a
do
whole
is like
year, it will
redirect
change
your
all of
thinking
that.
to
But she
positive
doesn't know
thinking.
that. She doesn't
Yeah,
believe it, or she's just
you
too lazy
know,
to try. I think it's
conventionally
option
attractive
three. I
people
think
don't
she's
have a
so
problem, and
lazy
this
that
is
she's not even willing to try doing it for a year. All you have to do is literally take a single pill every day for a year and see how it works. She's not even willing to do that to try something new. This girl does so little, she's not even willing to take one pill a day to try and change her life drastically. She already admitted it would cure her depression.
nobody left me, right?
A
But like,
pill.
in a sense of not, well,
Nobody left
not
me,
even
but
on the
in a
same
sense
page,
of
so I can't
not,
quite
which
say
is
that.
not even doesn't even make any
And it's
sense in
just how I
English
feel about
language.
the past stuff too. It's
Apparently, someone
just
did
the
leave her.
therapist told me to redirect my thinking, and I'm trying. Like I'm trying not to think lowly of them.
That's just some. That's some fucking Chat GPT therapy. Which again, you haven't mentioned a therapist for like a week or so now. What the fuck? That's some Chat GPT therapy. I know that's something Chat GPT would
Myself,
recommend.
but it's hard. You know, I saw these videos that came up
Because sometimes I
recently, which was
ran to
really
it,
weird
like instead of like
because
making a
it was a
post.
32
I wish more people instead of like posting on Twitter, they wrote that shit to just AI first and just got it out there that way, and then
year
just
old
didn't have these
and
crazy
a 30-year
arguments.
old, and they've never. It's the same
Oh, sorry,
situation with me.
stand
Like
up.
we're all three the same. They've never been in a
I hope you guys
relationship.
could
They've
still
never
hear
been
me.
on a
I'm
date.
sorry
They've
about
never
some
dated someone.
they're
They've
doing
never had
work and
a
there's
love
just stuff
life
to do,
their
but
whole entire life. And I was like, that would have to come up on my page. You know, I see
I
everyone
really hope you
talking
guys can
about
hear
their
me though. I'm trying to
relationships, and
project
I
well. It's
never
just
had
it
that.
hurts to
I
breathe
don't think I ever will.
sometimes.
Sorry. I don't know. I'm just
Like yeah, it's
struggling.
like my
My
voice
health
inside my
problems is
body. It
getting
really feels
worse.
like I was in
Like
a
it
car
really is. Like
accident
I
yesterday,
stress out. I'm
2
just
days
trying to
ago.
do
Like
what the therapist told
where I
me to
got like
redirect my
T-boned or
thinking to
something.
positive thinking.
And I've been in a lot
But
of
I
car
messed
accidents in
up
my life
and
and
I
really never
can't
been
fix
hurt
that
at
because
all.
when you
My
talk so
seatbelt probably
badly
saved my
about
life more
yourself,
than
you
most of the
can't
time.
fix it.
To everyone
Who
out
wants to
there,
be with someone
wear
that's
your seatbelt.
depressed
This is more important
or talks
information than
badly
what somebody
about
is talking
themselves?
about
Like,
right
nobody wants to be with a
now.
person like that, and then they had to fix that. Like, no. I don't know what my purpose in life is. I really don't know what my purpose in life is.
That's fucked
Or,
up. You're
I don't
32
know.
years old. I
I'm
kind of
really,
don't
really struggling.
either, but I know that my purpose is to try to make my position better for my wife and I, and to try and like make a better future for us. And I know that those are the general goals. How I get there is going to be a little bit different at each stage in life. Like I said, right now I'm working civil service up until the pay well, really good benefits after 5 years vested in a pension, which if I got it over there just for 5 years would be nothing, but over here it'd be like a utility bill every month. So like, yeah, I mean, I have some idea, but for the most part, no, I'm not really sure what I want to be. I was considering, like, I actually just had to decide this past semester if I was going to go for a bachelor's in mathematics or a BS in computer information systems. And since I'm already 35, the CIS degree is going to get a job a lot faster. I have had A plus certs in the past, by the way, or CompTIA, sorry, I was A plus certified. I don't remember if I did networking or not. I probably should do it if I want to jump back in, just to refresh myself on all that. A plus is a fucking waste of time to do it again. But networking would probably be useful than security plus. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic here. But the point is, like, I'm doing stuff to better myself, whereas Tophia had no goals. And the reason she had no goals is because she's depressed, and she literally just said what a cure for her depression would be is an antidepressant, but she still refuses to
I'm
take it. It's
just
just it's
trying the best that I
unbelievable.
can. The only thing I could do is just
Yeah,
keep
you're really
going,
trying to
but
do the
it's
best that you
hard,
can
you
when
know, and
you're
I hate
literally
when people do
you're
that
not
too.
trying
Especially, I don't
anything,
remember who it
Sophia.
was,
You haven't
or
tried the
maybe I do. There was
medication.
several
You
people
haven't
that
tried
said,
any of the
like, oh,
suggestions
it's
the
better to be
therapists or
single and not
counselors
be in a
gave because you just
relationship. You know,
mocked
like
the
I'm so
advice they
sick of
gave
that.
you.
And the
You
thing that
haven't listened
annoys
to
me
anyone
is
telling you to get a
while
job.
saying
You haven't
that and
listened
then
to your aunt and
actively
uncle about
wanting a
getting a place.
relationship, that is
You haven't
stupid. Like
listened
you're
to the
giving someone
shelter that you were at. They
advice,
kicked
but
you
you
out
don't want to
last
be
month.
single. That's like,
So what the
to
fuck are
me,
you
that's
talking
dumb.
about?
Like, I
Oh,
hate
I'm
when
so
people give
free. I don't have a
advice and then
boss.
here they are.
Yeah,
It's just
you
like,
just have all these other
wow,
people that get
okay,
to
what about the
dictate
advice?
everything about your life. It's
You're just
almost
saying
as if
things
you're a
just to
prison.
say things.
It's almost as if
No.
she's a prisoner in her own life. It's crazy.
Mainly,
Like
probably.
she's trapped
I'm mad about
herself in
Wesley. I
her
don't
own.
even care about Wesley anymore.
Sure, you
This
don't
isn't
care
even
about
about
Wesley.
Wesley.
Yeah,
Why
I'm
would I be
positive you
mad
don't
about
care about him.
Wesley? I
Why?
blocked him.
Why else bring
I
him
moved
up?
on. This isn't even about Wesley.
Why
I'm not
keep
stuck
talking
on
about
that
him if it
dude.
doesn't bother
I
you?
feel like people don't hear me. They don't listen.
No, they hear you.
What
You're just
have I
getting
been
rage
talking
basil
about on
and
my
you're a
life all the
pathological
time that
liar
my next relationship was going to be with a woman? So what makes you think that I'm mad over a man?
because
Does
you're a
that make
thirst
sense?
trap
I'm not
bitch
mad
that's in
over a woman
heat,
either.
according
I'm
to
just saying, like,
Sandoki, and
I
I
don't
agree
care.
with her.
People keeps
You are
bringing
in
up
heat.
these people from the past.
You want to get
Like,
laid so
I
much
could really
bad. You're
care
like the Sharon
less
levels of it
what they do with
because
their
you're a
lives. I'm
thirst.
not
All
checking
those
for them.
thirst
I'm not
traps were
looking for them.
disgusting, by the way.
I'm not anything. I have my own life,
I
but in
think
my
if
own
anyone
personal
did that, well,
struggles,
no, that's not true.
it's just a lot
Hospitalists
of
do
things
that.
that
They
I
did
deal
it
with
because
that I
she's a fucking
personally,
liar. That's
I
why
don't
when I
judge
was younger and I
myself.
was like
Like,
28,
look
my
at what
40-year
people
old made me
post.
just
Look at
on
what people
TikTok and I
like.
wasn't.
Look
He
at
was just
all
showing
that.
me what he
If you're
watched on
not
TikTok and
showing
all my
yourself
toxic
in that
masculinity
way,
dances.
that'll be on my
It's
life,
like, okay,
and
I
that
get
doesn't
why you
really
might
bother
want
me.
this
You could
app,
say, hey,
but
start a
I
OF or
wasn't
whatever,
really
okay.
interested. I've
But
never
my
had
own
a
personal
TikTok. I
feelings
don't
are
have
maybe I
I might have
should.
an Instagram by
You know,
accident
people
right
want to see that,
now.
give them what
Because
they
I do
want,
have a
right?
Facebook, but I don't
Look,
think I ever signed
like,
up for
it
Instagram.
just sucks. Like, I'm
I think
not
I
gonna
should
do
probably,
that,
or
but
I might have
I don't
just to be
know.
able to do
Look
stuff,
at
like
all of
maybe
these
Chanel.
women, right? They don't have
But I
issues,
intentionally
especially if
didn't
they're
sign up for
conventionally
it
attractive.
just the whole
They
time.
really don't have
I don't even
issues
want
in
the
their
Facebook
love
page. I
life.
just made it because I
You
knew
know
you
what
wanted
I
to know my
mean?
wife.
Well, I'm not
Okay,
gonna
and
do
it's not my
OF.
real
I
name, not
won't
my
do
real
that.
birth name,
Like,
nothing, but it's
hello,
real.
threatening an OF. First of all, I won't do. I'm not gonna do that.
She would
I
do
know
that in
that.
a
That's why
second. I've
nobody
said that
wants me.
before. That's why
Of
she keeps
course,
talking
it's
about
just
it.
so crazy.
Sophia, people that aren't going to do an
People put these
OnlyFans don't
stupid
have to
labels
say every
and they
other
don't
video
realize
that they're
that it
not going to do
affects
an
other women. Like
OnlyFans.
Leah Holton,
It means
or
you're
the one that
thinking
went
about it
viral for just
constantly as a
staring at the
source of
camera
income.
because
And
she's
you're
really
probably
conventionally
actively
attractive.
thinking about
She
how you
got
could
named
do
the
it.
prettiest girl in
She
the
might get to
world.
the
Well, do
point where
you
she
not
goes on
see
like a
how it
hookup
affects
app
other
and
women when you
posts
say
like
stuff like that?
looking to create
Like,
OF
how
content,
does that make
will
us feel?
split money with
You
you
know,
or
like,
something, and
do I
she'll
need to
end
go
up
get a
getting kicked
surgery?
out.
And I had thought about
It'll
resorting,
be really
trigger
bad.
warning, going back to my eating disorders. Maybe if I make myself throw up.
You've thought about going back to your eating disorder? You think you don't have an eating disorder right now? You weigh as much, you're super morbidly obese. Sophia, if you eat 4,000 calories a day, even if you throw up 2,000 of them, you're not going to lose any weight. What the fuck are you talking about? You used to have an eat. When in your life did you have a fucking eating disorder? Okay, because I know people that have had them. Serious shit. Serious anorexia. In fact, I had that a little bit when I used to think I was too fat. At one point, when I went to detox, the only time I weighed, I'm about 5'11". When I went to detox in 2012, I think I weighed 113 pounds. I looked like I was fucking a skeleton. Okay, like it's because I just wouldn't eat. I would spend all the money on drugs. Like, what am I? What? You think I'm gonna buy a sandwich when I can drop $5 on the bag of dough? Like, you're out of your mind. So I looked like a fucking emaciated skeleton. Sophia, I've never seen a video of you looking like you're under 280 pounds. So what fucking eating disorder? Like, you know what? If you did have one, that's sad, but it's very hard to believe that when you're like one of the only homeless people I've seen either gain weight or maintain a weight this large. It means you're currently at least
Or
taking in enough
and
calories to
starve
stay the same
myself.
size.
If I lost weight, that
You
would
didn't
help.
starve yourself
These are just
fucking
things that I
ever.
struggle with.
Sophia, you filmed your life like 6 hours a day for the past like 6 years. You've been filming since before your brother got shot, for years before that even. You were filming like 2020, I think, maybe 2022 you started. I just found about you last year, but that's when your 50 million view thing came in. It was either during COVID or right after it. Your one video you bragged about. When the fuck in the past 6 years at the weight that you're at, did you have a fucking disorder where you didn't eat? You film yourself eating so fucking free. This is bullshit, you guys. I'm sorry if anyone listens to this. This is a fucked up bullshit lie. You should fucking feel bad about yourself, Tophia.
And
This
I
is
can't say
gross.
that
This
because
is once again
nobody
another
wants to
lie
hear
about
someone
her
say that
being a
all the time.
victim.
So, I gotta be like,
No, it's
hey,
not
it's
that
a
we don't.
happy
It's a
day.
lie.
I don't feel
That's
this
a
way.
lie.
Who
You've
wants
never
a
not eaten in
depressed
your
friend? Who
fucking
wants to
life.
be with someone that
You've been
calls
filming
themselves
yourself so
ugly?
frequently,
Nobody.
you don't,
Just forget
you
her.
film so much of your life, you don't even realize how much of it you film. We have so much content from you over the past 6 years. If there had been a period where you weren't eating, we would have fucking noticed it and you would have lost weight. Instead, there's tons of videos out there of you eating everything from fucking potato chips to, I just want a patty melt. That's all I want is a patty melt. Like, fuck you. How much do you weigh that you fucking think not eating is your solution? Get the fuck out of here. Even if you did that, you wouldn't even lose weight the right way, you fucking
Like I
moron.
said, because I don't feel
Because I've
anything.
done that.
That's
Again, when
just
I had bad
having to
self-image,
push
because I have
that
some
down.
gyno, and like
I
even
didn't say anything
exercise
about
affects
harming
it. I've had it since
myself.
I was a
Keeping
kid. My
yourself
dad has
busy
it. My
does
dad's
not
brothers have, it's
stop
like
you
in my
from
family
thinking
had it.
like that about
But I have
yourself.
it worse than like my
It's
cousin
what
stuff. I
society
used to get made
pushes
fun of.
out
That's
there. It's
really
what
sad,
people
big
like.
Nelson
Yes, it
Mandela. It
does
was
affect
really
me when I
fucking,
see
it
someone that I
affected me
like
quite
post something
severely until I was
and it's
older.
just like I don't
Realized I
want to
didn't
like
give a
that
shit.
person
The
or I
person I
can't be
was
that
lying
person.
next to didn't care. Like,
It
I didn't
makes
like
me
care.
look at
But
myself and
yeah, I
judge
got I
myself and
got
be like,
mocked for
oh,
it.
well, maybe I
So
should change
she
myself
talks
or
about, like getting
get
made fun of in
surgery.
middle school and
That's
stuff.
what
When I
people
get
want. That's
fun
what
of
the
in middle
world
school, that's
wants. That's
still
what
I still
people
think about it.
want. Trust me.
And
My
again,
whole
exercise,
perspective,
the
my life
placement
would
of
be
it is like even when I
way
insulate my pecs a
different. I
lot,
did that.
like
Like
trying to
I
get
did
different
have a
pieces,
healthy
it's
hobby
still doing
because I
work.
went to the gym But I
like
was
right
not
above your
seeing results.
serratus.
Like, yeah, I was losing
Muscle
one
is
pound. And to
just
be
a
honest with you, I
possibility.
wasn't even eating that much, and I
It'll
was
always stick
actually
out.
eating healthy.
Even big person can
One
do this.
pound,
Especially because
I
I have a
should just
pigeon chest.
stop
Sorry, I'm
eating at
talking about
all.
more.
Starve
Because she's talking
myself,
about right now eating a
Nobody
pound
wants
less of ice
somebody that
cream or
looks
some shit.
like this.
Like,
And
what are you
even me
talking
saying
about?
that
Oh,
is
I'll just eat
already
a
affecting
pound less a
things
week.
because now I can't take it
Sophia, how
back. Who
much?
wants
How
to
much
be
do
with someone
you
like that?
eat a week?
I don't look like this. I'm not this cool person. Yeah, I got
What?
friends, right? But sometimes I feel like I'm boring to be around. I don't
Sophia,
know.
you are.
I'm
Let me clear this up right now. You are boring to be around. That's one reason you don't have any friends. What are you talking about, friend? Every other video, I don't have friends. I got so many friends. I don't have friends. I got so many friends. I'm sorry, I'm like ranting and talking way too much in this
struggling.
one. Like I
I don't do
just like
any
I
drugs.
promised
I
not
don't
to.
drink. I don't party. I don't go to
And my time
clubs.
isn't that bad.
Someone
I
did
need to
say
speed this
something
shit up
to
a
me.
little bit though.
Well, people did
But
say,
like
especially
fuck
online,
you.
but in my personal life, they did say something to me that affected
Slow
me,
as
and
fucking
especially
fuck.
because my dad
Yeah,
has
I
said
just gave
some
an
stuff
example
for
of that
me.
of
It's just being
middle
a
of
lot
being
of
made fun
because
of
my
by
dad
essentially my whole
being a
school,
fat
and that's one
cow,
of the
and
reasons
that
I
affected
didn't
me
I
because at
stopped
that
playing
time
certain
I had my
sports at the
eating
time.
disorder.
That's also when I became pigeon chest. I think it was from the type of try. I jumped up onto this locker in my locker room in the gym, and I either
I'm
jumped
back,
down and like
guys. Yeah,
fell
like I
weird or
said,
something. I
my
felt my
life hasn't never
chest like
been
move and
a
shit. Like I
video
felt it
watching
wasn't
new
good.
shows that I'm gonna
And I
start
went to the
watching.
doctor, and they're
You
like,
try
"It's
to
okay."
cash at
But
me,
now that I'm older,
I
you can tell
cannot
I have like
accept
pigeon chest,
PayPal.
or you know,
So
some
yeah,
player
I
powers.
think
So it makes the guy know even worse
I
too,
think
even
I
with
know
the
it's only
like good
PayPal.
pecs when I'm
If
like
you
doing
click the
tons of
PayPal
push-ups and
me, you
shit.
can send.
Like that was the
It's just
only
comparing
exercise I was
myself
really
to other
doing
women,
before I
and yeah,
landed on my
I'm
I
trying
used
not
my
to
ribs as a
like.
fucking landing
I
pad
said
for the
because I
rest of
call
my
myself
body. So,
ugly. No, I
but
don't
I
need
just
the
gave an
praise.
example of like thinking I was
I'm not
overweight. I was
spending
overweight, and
on
like I
Moon
again
Rocks. You
like
don't
I
even
wasn't
know what
even.
I'm gonna spend on.
Hang on a
I
second, you
never
guys.
worked
Is that? Hang on a second. What the fuck's going on?
dollars, but when
I had to
someone
fast
sends
forward
money,
through that. I don't know
mad
if it was
because they
my
didn't get
computer or not, but
anything.
it was
Would you
like
like a
it was
buck?
like
So you could just be
skipping. It was
quiet
like digitally
because
skipping,
I'm so
like
sick and
digitally
tired of
missing
people
like
saying they're not jealous, but when
parts of the
someone sends
sound. It was
money,
very
then
odd.
you're all mad about it.
But
It's
yeah,
not
I
your
just talked
money
about
to
how
be
I got
complaining
mentally
about.
irritated
You
and
didn't
how I
work for
injured
that money.
myself
You
to the
didn't
point where I
earn
had
that
pigeon
money. So
chest
why are
there
you
and it
trying to
just
tell
flares
someone what
out
to
and
do
it,
with
again
it?
makes me look like
Because you
worse than a
probably
normal
wanted the
person without a chest
$50.
episode.
Some of you
Because
guys
again,
be
like
on
make
here
my
and be
chest stick
posting
out
your
more
cash
makes
apps
it look more like
and then
a,
be
you know,
saying donate to me instead of
working
her.
beast than man
Like, come
pecs, you
on
know.
now.
Even
It's
when I work them out a lot.
painfully obvious. No one said I was being
Oh,
smug. I literally
I
said thank
swear.
you.
I'm just talking about it because
I
my ribs
literally
are killing me
told
right
them
under my
thank you
pec,
for
and I
sending
just
money.
can't do
That's not
push-ups
being
because none of
smug.
them will actually
Smug
fucking stick down.
is like you
Any
like
curls
all of us need
can't
to stop
like hold my
misusing
core right now
definitions.
either.
Just stop
It's fucked up.
misusing
I really,
definitions.
again, I really thought I cracked one at least. I'm really glad I didn't. I drink so much milk. I take so much fucking calcium. That's the only thing I can attribute it to. The only reason why I've only ever broken that one tiny bone in my wrist in my life when I fell on it so hard skateboarding. I busted my ass so sorry. This is more interesting than Tophia's bullshit. So probably most of you. So I busted my ass so hard skateboarding in Boston, like because I wasn't a great skateboarder. I could barely ollie. I couldn't really do any tricks, but I loved riding around. So I took, but I didn't want a longboard because they're a bitch to carry and deal with and shit like that. So I took a regular board and I put longer wheels on it. I used to cruise around like that. It was really good, good corner quite well, a lot better than a full size longboard, and almost as good as a skateboard. Not quite as tight, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like because of the turn radius of the board, where the wheels are located. Anyway, I was cruising around one day, and I don't know what happened. If like I forget what it's called when it happens when like the skateboard under you just like either hits something or like just moves randomly to the side. But basically, I was just riding forward, and all of a sudden, like the front of the skateboard was now to the left of me, and I just went forward, and I stuck on my wrist. That's the normal thing most people do, right? Stick out your wrist. Worst thing you can do when you fall. Try and fall, like bend your wrist and fall on your elbow if you can. It takes a lot of force to break your fucking elbow. If you break your elbow, it means if you fell on your fucking wrist, you probably would have broken your entire arm. So go for that elbow, right? You might just dislocate it at worst, but breaking your elbow is really hard. However, even knowing that now, having skateboarded for years and done other shit for years where I know that, it's still really hard to retrain your brain to say, don't stick out my hand to save my head from dying. It's hard to rewire that. But the point,
If you don't know what the definition is, then
like,
is
sorry, I'm just gonna.
like you like
So I was just get the like that the point is I fell so hard that I broke my wrist. Someone that's like has drank so much milk, taken so much calcium in their life that I've never broken a bone doing anything else. And I've done some stupid ass fucking shit in my life. I will tell you that right now, where I got really hurt and really injured, and never broke a bone except for that one time. And I busted my ass so hard in the middle of the city of Boston, everything went flying out of my pockets. I'm talking about my cell phone, my wallet, my keys, my fucking every single thing, my money, everything in my pocket went flying out. And it was right across from a green line train station stop, maybe even the Northeastern stop, and the campus. And the entire street and benches and everyone stopped walking and looked at me because I busted my fucking ass so hard that they were just like, wow, that guy just really hurt himself. I busted my ass so hard that I didn't even realize everything went flying out of my pockets. I busted my ass so hard that people started giving. I was so out of it after falling, and I was sitting on the bench. I was so confused. Like, why did my board just do that? Like, why am I suddenly in an extreme amount of pain? Why does my hip feel like a grapefruit, and my wrist is throbbing, and so is the whole side of my body? And also, I have a cut on my head. Like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, people start giving me shit. Someone's handing me a phone. Someone handing me a couple dollars, like a five with a one. Someone's handing me a school ID and like all this other shit. I'm like, thanks. I was so out of it. I had no fucking idea they were giving me back my own shit. I thought it was all still in my pockets. I'm so disoriented. Sorry, I just thought you guys might find this story more interesting than this. I busted my ass so fucking hard. I went to the hospital because I thought I broke my hip. They're like, no, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. And then they sent me home, and then they called me back the next day. Oh, sorry, we missed it. You fractured part of your wrist. So on the X-ray, you got to come back down here, and we'll put a temporary whatever. They put like I guess splint on it. I guess the one that you can Velcro and stuff. Definitely not enough to heal the bone in my wrist. I needed a full cast where they casted my thumb, and I had a panic attack. But that's a different story. So they gave me a splint. But then the final funny part of the story is when I rode the train back, when I rode the T back. When I went to get off in my stop, I couldn't push forward fast enough, so the door stopped on my broken wrist. And I was screaming very loudly while the conductor, and it was a two-car fucking train, too. Just in Boston, compared to like New York City, it's like six-car trains. This was like a two-car train, or eight-car trains or whatever. So this is like two cars. And I'm like screaming. My arm is stuck in the door. My arm is stuck. And finally, some lady noticed. She gasped and ran and still a driver, and he opened the door. But he kept getting on the intercom, like, stop fucking with the doors. Dude, I just broke my wrist, and you haven't
Some of us
slammed
need
the
to stop
fucking door.
misusing
Sorry, guys, that was a waste of
definitions.
time
Just
telling you guys that
stop
story. That was
misusing
very stupid.
definitions. If you don't know what the definition is, then
Yeah,
why are
I'm gonna. Fuck. Whatever.
you using it?
I shouldn't have even
That's
created the
not the
story.
definition of smug.
I'm gonna
Smug is
speed
like
Tophia up now and try and
when you,
make this
I
one.
don't know if it's like overconfidence, but
She
like
doesn't even know the
to
definition of
me, like I
smug.
think
Smug is when
smug
you act
is you
holier than
think you're better
thou.
than everyone. Like
Yeah, she actually knows
when
it. There you go.
that's clearly not the case. Social media, I do.
It's when
I
you
haven't
behave
went to
that way.
Comic
You
Con,
aren't
so why are we
necessarily
mentioning
better. You
Comic
just
Con?
behave that way.
Comic Con was last year. I didn't go to last year's Comic Con. So why are
Okay?
we talking about a Comic Con from 2 years ago? Why are we still talking
Because
about a Comic Con from two
because you
years ago
spent money
where
you
I
didn't have.
made
And
three
because
thousand
it's
dollars
rage
from
baiting. All
TikTok?
right, now. Once
Nobody
again,
gave
she
me the money
doesn't.
for a
She
Comic
thinks
Con.
she doesn't
I
get
earned
rage
that
baited. She
from
made that
TikTok. And now
argument the
people
other
want to
day
sit
that
here and
no one
lie,
rage
saying,
baits
"Oh,
her, that this
you
isn't
went
rage
and did
bait.
these things because you spent
Sure,
the
Tophia.
GoFundMe money." The
You're just
GoFundMe money
reacting
was
this way
refunded.
because this is how you
I
would
didn't have
normally
access to
react
that.
to this
So anything
accusation,
I did
right?
was out of my money that I earned. So why are we still
This isn't,
complaining about something from 2 years
you,
ago,
this isn't you
talking about how I be
crashing out
pocket
over
watching
someone
people, but then you're
bringing,
pocket watching me? Is
claiming
that
that it
not
doesn't
weird?
matter.
They bring up stuff from
They're
like
literally
5 years
pocket
ago,
watching you from two
and then
years
they
ago, and
complain
you're
about it.
addressing them.
They say, "Oh well, she
They
spent
don't
money on this."
complain
First
about
of
it.
all, I
They're
saved
fucking
money for an
trolling
RV to
you.
get
Have
my
you
family
not
an
get this
RV,
by
so
now?
we had a
It's
place to shower,
insane
so
that
we
she
had a
doesn't
place to
get this
cook and
by
eat.
now.
Like I said,
Sometimes she
RVs are
gets it
expensive,
too.
and I'm
There
not
was like
putting
a
all of
day,
my
there was like
money
something
into
the
an
other day. I was
RV,
like,
and
it's a
especially when you have to
miracle.
hook
She
up to an RV that doesn't
because
have a
at first she was
generator.
like, I don't
Then
know,
you're going
they
to have to
might be
go
a
to an
troll. And then
RV
she was
park
like,
and
yeah, they're
hook up.
probably a troll.
It's just
And I said to
a
myself,
lot that
that's the
goes into an
first time
RV.
Tophia has
So yeah,
been able to
I asked
discern a
for
troll from like a real person.
GoFundMe money
That's
because
some
my brother
Chris
needs to
Chan
be
shit right
buried.
there, man.
What part of that don't
They're
you
both fucking
understand? Like,
morons when it
what's
comes to
not
that.
clicking?
I don't
How
know
am
if
I
she's
gonna bury my
autistic or
brother if I
something,
need
but
clothes because
on
I have
top of
no
her
clothes?
schizo
That
disorder,
does
she
not
has.
make sense.
That's
I
why I
gotta
think she's
buy
like
my hygiene
schizotypal
stuff.
or
I gotta buy
schizoaffective.
clothes. I
I
gotta
always
get
mix them
things that
up,
I
but
need.
again, my
Oh,
mom
you're
taught
spending money.
special ed
You're
kids her
wasting money.
entire
You're buying
career,
clothes. You're buying shoes.
and
I
she
need
had
these
kids like
things.
that.
I
You
don't
know,
have all my
nonverbal
clothes
ones,
written in the car.
schizoaffective or
I don't know
schizotypal. I
what to
always
tell
mix them
y'all.
up
Like,
too, but
seriously,
like
money's
basically,
gotta
kids
go.
that were
There's no way I can
they
save money. I got a
hallucinated and they heard shit and they were
$231
it was
storage. I got a
it's not a form
$55
of
phone bill.
schizophrenia
I
exactly, it's
gotta
just
pay
they
that. That I
named it
raised the money
similarly because
myself.
it has
All of these
similar
things are not free. I
characteristics.
gotta buy my pads. Pads are
Yeah,
not
you
free.
know,
They're
they're not like
expensive.
they're not
Nobody
like a
said
form of the
anything,
same
right? You
disease,
said
whereas
then
like
work. The
autism is
money
kind
that I
of
earned from
further
tips
actually
paid for those
schizophrenia
things. So
categories.
why are you
I'm
complaining?
not like saying she's
Does
like
not
totally
make sense.
schizophrenic. I'm saying she
You're
is
saying that I'm spending my
schizotype
money
or
on useless
schizoaffective
crap when it's not useless because I
characteristics.
need those things. And you're pocket watching for no reason. And then
You
you're
didn't need
complaining.
things to
I'm not gonna
calm
go
down.
get my
That's what
brother's
they're
ashes.
talking
I've
about.
already explained that to you. He's safe where he's at. Like, for
Where
people
is he?
saying that they discarded his ashes, no, they didn't. The lady that has his ashes understands the situation. I am moving from one shelter to another.
Dude,
I can't ensure that.
I don't believe that for a second because someone posted the laws in New Mexico about holding on to someone's ashes for too long because you're essentially holding on to a stranger's human remains, which, as far as I know, is not allowed. Unless she literally donated them to her, and if she donated them to her and she thinks that this lady is actually still holding on to them, she's a fucking bigger idiot than I've ever thought. Instead, what's gonna happen is this lady's just gonna lie and say, "Yeah, no problem," and then the day it comes, she's just gonna scoop up some fucking kitty litter and put that shit in there. You're a moron.
He's not gonna get lost or
Someone's
something.
someone's holding your ashes. Why were you complaining about him getting stolen all the time then? Like you kept thinking, "Oh my God, I have to hold on to them forever." Like they're gonna steal my dead they're gonna steal my dead brother's ashes. You know, I have to worry about this. That's a serious issue. Now all of a sudden someone's storing them? Like,
Is
God,
going
I
to
wish I
happen.
didn't go on that
Because if that
tangent.
urn goes missing, then I don't have my brother at all. Then
Yeah,
what am I
that's
supposed to
right.
do?
I
How
don't
am I
know.
supposed to tell his mother that he's no
That's a
longer
great
here
question.
and that
So
he's
what
gone
are you gonna
somewhere?
do? You're not in
I have
possession
to
of them
ensure
right
that he's in a safe place. Me and my mom are
now.
not in a
Inshore instead
stable
of
situation to
inshore.
take my brother. He
I'm
needs
sure
to
she
be
doesn't know
buried.
which one
So
to
that way,
use, the E
he's
version or the I
always
version.
in a
She would use
spot.
the I version.
I'm moving from one shelter to another. Something could happen in the process of me moving from one place to another.
I'm moving from one shelter to another, aka I got kicked out of another shelter, and now I'm going even further down the list of bad places to be. She's eventually gonna get to one of those places I'm talking about where it's almost she might have already even hit it like one or two bad. She's going to get to the point where the majority of them are either recently released from jail or prison, have criminal convictions, and are homeless, are slinging drugs still and are on papers, or whatever the fuck. She's going to end up in one of those places before she ends up in a tent if she hasn't already. And I think that's, again, one of the reasons why everyone hated her streaming because they were all blown. She was blowing up everyone's fucking spot. And then the fucking people at the place could have gone up to her and asked her for her footage, or just watched it on live and it would have seemed like residents getting picked up like by someone like me every single day and dropping them back off laughing and fucked up as shit. And then I would get stopped. Like she
I
was
can't be
going to these
responsible
places up.
for an
That's why she got
urn
kicked
and
out of
something
another one. And
happens.
she's gonna
I've
keep
already
going
explained how
down
not
that
safe it
list
is.
until it
I'm
gets
okay.
worse and
I'm
worse.
just
If
going
she's
through it.
talking about
Like,
how
no
not
one
safe it is,
understands.
she's
You
not
try to
wrong the
deflect from
lower
one thing
down the
to
list
another.
she gets.
Here
It
I
will
am
become
thinking
even less
horribly
and less
about
safe. She's
myself
gonna
and the way
get
that
hit
I
in the
look.
face one
And
day.
then here
I'm
we are
telling you
paying
guys.
back on my
She's
brother, and
no
why haven't
set.
he
She
took his
like
ashes?
just
You keep
she's like the type
questioning
of
me, and you
weirdo that
keep
someone
saying
would
these
think
things
did
because
really
you're
weird,
trying to
sick
prevent
shit,
people from sending me money,
and
which
that's why
hasn't
she's
worked.
homeless.
Oh, so you're gonna tell
And
people I don't
so
pay them
they
my
would do
brother's ashes so
something
they don't
to
send me
her
money?
or
That
pick
doesn't make
on
sense
her
because I've
or like
already
whatever. And
explained
Tophia,
why.
as
I'm
hard as
just
she
not
acts on the
gonna
internet,
do it.
has
I'm
no
tired.
fucking tough
I'm
bone in her
frustrated.
body.
I shouldn't
She
have to
would
keep
cave
explaining myself.
immediately, which would make her
Because
look even
moving from one
worse and
place
more
to
like a
another,
snitch in a
okay,
rat.
I'm gonna explain this to you. I went to the West Side Shelter, right?
She's gonna
I
be
had
in the
coats. I
worst
had all of
fucking
my stuff. All of my snacks
place
got taken when
ever.
I
I'm
went to the
telling you guys.
hospital. I can't ensure something's not gonna happen if I have
Yeah,
to go
your
to the
commissary gets
hospital
stolen. It's
because of my
again,
health
it's like
problems.
jail.
I
So
have health problems. Nobody wants someone with health problems. Nobody's gonna love somebody with health problems. I'm trying to keep my health problems.
instead of she just said the word health problems within three times within 5 seconds. It's the side. It's the replacement for side effects.
I check for my mom so she has a place to live because if
If
something
she says
happens
it
to
more,
me, she doesn't have anybody else to help her
that's
get
three
housing.
times in five
I'm trying
seconds.
the best that I can with my stress, but I can't not ensure.
Chris Chan shit. Stress meters off the chart. With this stress, I just have to lay down. You guys, I'm so stressed. I can't do the one cameo someone paid me to do today, you guys. You just don't understand what it's like to have stress and anxiety. Yeah, what do I know about anxiety and mental illness, Tophia? I just have a bunch of both. You know? Like, what the fuck? I get medicated for both too because it helps me be a normal person and function in society. Why would you want to do that?
sure and
You're
make
just
sure
gonna lay
something's
around a
safe if I'm
shelter and
at the
be
hospital.
lazy on
I
your
don't know if I'm
Switch.
going to go to the
Like
hospital. I
God,
can't say,
you
hey, I'm going to
sold
go
your
to the
tattoo.
hospital today. That's not how that works. I've been in and out of the hospital
Or
all
you
my life.
traded
I had heart surgery when I was 5.
for like some
I almost
cash and
died in like
you
21,
switched
2022 when I had that
switched to
pericardial
cheaper because of the
effusion.
second
I've
one
had an
got.
abscess and had surgery for that. But the most serious surgery was my heart surgery and the pericardial effusion. They told me if I didn't get that
Which wasn't that when she was a baby? Or like wasn't she a baby when she had that? They didn't tell her anything if that's true. They told her parents. Am I wrong about that?
surgery for the pericardial effusion, I was going to pass away. Mind you, I had that pain a year before. I'm trying to keep my stress down because
That was
honestly,
different.
I really do
Oh my God, wait, that was later. She in her teens to 20s, she needed heart surgery. Yeah, Tophia, you're in great shape. You're not out of shape at all. You're gonna live to 100 like you're
think
fine.
that if I
Am I
continue
out of
down
my
this
mind? Is
path,
she out
I
of her
will die
mind?
from a broken heart. My
Did she
brother's not
just
alive.
say that she needed a heart surgery at that age? Even if it was younger, like I originally thought, that's crazy. And right now, I hope the mic's picking this up because the camera or the fucking laptop's not level with me, and I'm sitting weird because my lungs are killing or my ribs are still going.
That's
So I'm
adding to
sorry I
that.
keep saying that, guys.
Other
It hurts.
personal things are adding to that I'm not going to mention because I don't talk about
I,
personal things on here
so
that
I
people
landed
don't
my
really need
entire
to know.
overweight. I'm
I
taking
really feel
two
lowly of
pandas right
myself.
on
I
my
don't feel good. I'm
like
trying
right
to
where your ribs are meet the
feel
skin. No
better. I've
worse than
been
the
in
hospital.
and out of
That's
the
just like
hospital most of my life.
sucks so
It's
bad.
like the doctor said, you're either
There's no way you've been in and out of the hospital most of your life. You don't understand the most basic shit about medication or drugs. I don't believe it for a second. You're a pathological liar. That makes no sense. There's no way you've been in and out of the hospital most of your life. There's no way. There's no way. There's literally no way. I don't believe that. That makes no sense.
in and out.
Maybe you've had to go to the hospital as a kid, every year or two you got something, chicken pox one year, flu the next, mono the next, and you didn't get mono from kissing anyone, let's be honest. You got it because someone sneezed on you. Like,
Of the hospital
like,
or you're having run-ins with the
there's no
police.
way.
I don't have run-ins with the
There's
law.
no
I'm not in
way
and out of jail. I'm in and out of
that
the
she's in and
hospital.
out of the
I'm
hospital.
gonna die from a broken heart if I continue to keep beating
Oh,
myself up
mi
and being sad. I'm trying hard to
pobrecito tu
move past things,
corazón,
but it's
tu
difficult.
corazón
I'm
es
trying hard not
roto, tu
to
corazón es
do certain things
roto,
and
mi amor.
it's not working. Nobody knows what that's like. I can't explain it
Pero
because I
hacerlo,
don't want to say
pero
anything on
hacerlo.
here. I would just rather
That I
keep it
believe
to
I can.
myself.
That I
Doing
believe I
these
can
things
do it
does
is
not
what that
help, and I'm
translates. I'm trying
trying
to
to
say I believe I can
focus.
fix
Yeah,
it.
you can actually
Would it
die
be
from a broken heart. Dying from a
Referard? Is
broken
that
heart
okay? I
means
can't remember.
that when
I
some
figured
things
out Sarah is
happen,
usually
you
usually
worry
pretty
or
named
stress
the
too much,
sense, and
or
you usually pretty
you
broad.
become so
Figured that was
overwhelmed
possible.
with grief
See, my
that you
Spanish isn't
cause your
terrible.
own health
It
problems
actually
and
is
you die
terrible.
from
Don't
that.
worry. I'm kidding.
People sometimes end up,
And
if they
again,
have
I
cancer
started living
cells in them,
alone for 2 years
sometimes
in this country.
they
That's been
end up
less than one
with
year, and it's
cancer
super expensive, and I
because
can't
of their
afford
grief is too
I'm spending
much.
every year.
It's not
Maybe
just
I
my
could,
brother, it's
maybe in
other
the
things
future if I could
that I'm
save
grieving.
more. I
I
actually
can't
saved a
come
lot
on here
this
and
year. I
tell
probably
y'all
could have
because it's
done
personal
another round of
things
stuff,
that
but
I'm not gonna come to the internet and tell
yeah,
you
it's
about my
more expensive
personal
than you think,
problems.
and the language
But
is
it's like
so
not a
different.
specific person in
It's
general.
like very, very
That's
different from
why
this
I can
tonal, as
talk
I
about it
said
because it's
a
not
bit
a
ago.
specific person.
Anyway, that's why
I
she
just
talks
think
about it because
about
it's not a specific
myself
person.
and how I feel and wish
It's not a specific person, even though there's literally only one person in her life that it could apply to. She's being general enough that you can't realize the easy as fuck fact that it's obviously like everyone knows who you're talking about, is my point. Like you're full
wishing
of
that I
shit.
looked like certain people because
You're
maybe
full of
that
shit about
person
that.
would love me and that sucks. How do I
What?
process that?
I don't know
That's just
even
my
what
thought
that
process. Maybe
means.
I would be kept, and
What are you
that's what I
talking
think about
about?
past issues online and other
What, that
things.
if
I
you
don't
looked
want to get
better, it
into
wouldn't be a
it because
problem?
it'll blow
You bitch about ableism. Now you're trying to make the argument that if you look better, life would be easy, so you wish you were fucking better looking. You're trying to take the easy path out now. After bitching at people who do it, after fucking criticizing women as internally misogynistic if they fucking want to be a trad wife, after dumping on everyone who fucking engages in that shit, you're basically just confessing that that's what you wanted this whole fucking time. You wanted Prince Charming to come sweep your fucking ass off your feet. Tell me, Tophia, do you look like a Disney princess? If your answer is yes, you're delusional and you need to be in a hospital. If your answer is no, you're delusional and you don't need to be in the hospital anymore, but you were really delusional as a kid and you need to move on. Either way, you got fucking problems, girl.
Into a
Like,
bigger thing.
this is insane.
That's just my thought
These should
process.
these
That's just
shouldn't
what
be
I'm
your
going
thought
through.
processes.
I'm
These shouldn't be things
stressing
you're
out.
going
I'm
through.
freaking out. I'm worried.
I'm
I
sorry,
just
guys. Hold on,
accepted
listen
the
to this
fact
shit.
that I'm
I
probably
really
gonna
hope
die
this goes
alone.
for like
That's
an
just
hour.
something that I've accepted. I hate when people do
All of a
this
sudden,
big,
she's
well,
dying
Jesus
alone.
loves you, or
She's
say
talking
these
about
stupid things that
and
is
she's talking
not
about
going to
Jesus
fix
too.
it.
All of a sudden, she's
Oh yeah,
back
is
onto
Jesus gonna
Jesus
make
and
somebody
dying.
love me? No, he's not.
Is she back
No,
in the
it's
religious
never gonna happen.
shelter?
Why
Is
would
that
you hope
why?
for
Is she? Do
something
you
that
guys think they let her back into the same shelter? Is that why she's acting this way? I don't know where the fuck she is now, but she's talking about it again. Like what? And she was fucking on her high horse for a couple of videos, not talking about how she didn't need to fucking hide herself anymore. Now she's once again talking about Jesus loving her and shit. Sophia, are you a
isn't gonna
Christian that
happen?
believes in the Bible or
Why
not? And it's okay if you're a Christian that believes in the Bible and a more open like denomination that's okay with gay people and stuff. But you can't be back and forth about fucking Jesus himself every fucking stream. What are you talking about? Are you religious or not? No, she's agnostic. She thinks agnostic means something totally different. She's Gnostic, actually. I'm agnostic. Agnostic means you can neither confirm nor deny the existence of God. You believe there's not enough evidence one way or the other, or that humanity is incapable of comprehending such a thing. I believe that. Atheism is you don't believe anything. Gnostic is you believe in something. It was a very general term. She's
I even
Gnostic.
try
She
to
doesn't
think
even understand this
positively when it
shit.
hasn't
So,
happened. I'm 32 years old and I haven't, I don't know, it just, a lot of things, they don't go right. And that's okay. I just have to learn to accept it for what it is. No amount of positive talking or thinking could change this. Me calling myself ugly ruined things, right? No one wants to be with someone who thinks of themselves as ugly.
shit, I don't know. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. I got. Sorry, guys. The hospital that I was at had just called me to confirm my appointment. They had already made another appointment for my cervical spine because I literally got whiplash from falling. I've never didn't. The only time I've ever seen that happen is when Nikola Jokic hit, what's this the fucking the twin from I forget the guy's name. One of Mark Morris twin, one of the Morris twins from mine. He hit him so hard he knocked him out of the NBA. So it's the only time I've seen someone get whiplash from falling or getting hit. But apparently I'm the second person in my life I've ever
No
seen
one
that
wants to be with
exists.
someone who talks
So
down on
they had
themselves and is
scheduled an
possessive.
appointment for me,
But
like
it's not taking
2
myself
days
out of
after
certain
I was there,
situations.
and I was there in
It's
May.
just
So like
sometimes I
I
would
was
be
there
like,
like
you know
two
what, it's
days
better if
ago.
you just leave me behind
And they're
because
already
why
like,
would
you
you
can
want a
come back
friend or
in for
someone who
another
thinks and
scan,
talks
another
like
check.
that?
And
Nobody wants
I've been in a
someone
lot of
who
car
thinks of
accidents and
themselves like
stuff.
that
Like
or
I've
wants to be a
literally been in
friend.
more car accidents than your average NASCAR driver. It's crazy. I will take credit for some of them, but a lot is just bad luck. I've been rear-ended at red lights multiple times. I've been on the highway in a multi-car collision before. I've been driven off. Like you guys, it's just insane. I literally have ridden the bus, and the bus got hit by a car. Just to give you an idea. I rode the bus for years, and one time a car drove straight into the side of it where I was sitting. So it's like they aim for me, you know. I'm actually dodging. Everyone else is driving. I'm dodging everyone else. So
Friends with someone. It's really difficult with the way that I feel about myself. Like something works out
sorry,
and then it doesn't,
what topic are
and
you
then I
on?
talk bad about myself. I can't help that. My
Yes, you
negative
can.
thinking
It's
caused
called
me to
going to
not have a
therapy.
relationship.
It's
That's
called
literally what I
cognitive
think.
behavioral therapy.
If
It's
I
called
wasn't
therapy.
saying
You
certain
can
things,
do those
it
things.
would have been
You're
okay.
very
And
capable of
then I
things.
beat
Everyone is.
myself up
Or
because
not
I
everyone,
fucked
sorry,
up.
that's a
Like,
lie. Not everyone's capable of changing. Not every leopard can change its spots, okay? I believe that there are some criminals, for example, that, after they spend 10, 20 years in prison, they're completely rehabilitated. And when I say completely rehabilitated, what I essentially mean is their original version is dead. So the person that went to prison, they don't exist anymore. They effectively died in prison. That's what I mean by completely rehabilitated or rehabilitated enough to be released. That's what I believe the metric should be. Is it a different person than when they went in there and a better person? If the answer is yes, let them out. If the answer is no, they're the same, or no, they're worse, lock them up forever. Fuck them, you know? Like, if you're not going to improve while you're in prison, keep them in there as long as you're able to. But if you've proven like you changed and did all this shit, I think you should get a second chance because I don't think that the version of you that committed the crimes exists anymore, and therefore I'm not afraid of that person being in society. But Sophia, you're incapable of that level of change. I don't believe it would ever happen from you. So like I don't believe you could ever get to that point, and you're such a pathological liar that I wouldn't believe you even if you did. Like there's no way you could even get to the point of like a 20-year-old hardened ex-con being, a different person. Because I think that's what it takes to get out of prison and like totally like, be a different person when you get out and totally behave differently. Like you have to literally change your essence. Essence, again, I brought this up before in Greek or Roman philosophy. It basically meant like the thing that defines a thing. So like, what is an essence of an apple? It's not red. It's not the taste. It's a mixture of all these things. That's the essence of an apple. And the essence of that person changes, I think, or for some people. Not all those people are capable of that, though. You got really messed up people in prison that are not capable of change. You got everything from serial killers like the Jeffrey
I
Dahmers
can't change.
to serial sexual offenders. Like all those people, totally different, you know, at least when you first enter prison. But like if you commit murder and it's been 30 years and you are nothing like the person you were when you went into jail, maybe you should have a chance of being free. This is very controversial, I'm saying, but
What I said. I
I'm
ruined
trying
it.
to get at
I
what
can't
Tophia is
fix
talking
that.
about.
It's like trying to fit
My
the
point is
puzzle
you can
piece where it
fix that,
doesn't
you
go.
can change that. And
Even
now
though
I've
that's
made
like
this
the
video
last
too
piece.
long.
I just
But
screwed
she's
up.
like, oh, I
I'm
can't
just
change myself.
stupid.
No, one of
I'm
our
dumb.
defining
I'm an
traits as a
idiot. I
species, I
should
think
have
they said this in
just
Rick and
shut the
Morty.
fuck up and not
One of our
said
defining
things
traits as a
about
species
myself.
is
But
we can
anyways, who
change.
cares?
We're
I
we're
do
adaptable.
eat good
The
meals.
reason humans have survived for so long is our not our ability to evolve rapidly, like fish and houseflies and stuff like that. They can evolve rapidly on a short time scale. So over like a million years, like flies can change like drastically. Humans can't though. Humans barely move from like Neanderthal or like whatever Homo habilis, Homo sapiens over a million years, a couple million years. So
Going to the gym does not lose
like
weight. To be
yes,
honest, that's the
we
truth.
will
There was
change
someone
over
online
time,
who said
and we
going
are.
to the there
That's
are
why
certain
we
things
have
that you
survived, and that's why we're the dominant species because we are the most adaptable
have to
species
do, and it's not
because
just
we have
eating
higher
healthy
order
either.
thinking and the
There's a whole
ability to
bunch of other
use
things.
tools.
I
We can
don't really
adapt to live
care
in
about the
Antarctica.
eating
We can
healthy
adapt to live in
part
Florida.
of it
We can adapt to
because
live where
it's a
I am
lot of
now, where
work.
it's
People
hotter
don't
than shit
understand
and
how
the
much
humidity's
work it
through the
is.
roof.
Going to
We've
the gym
adapted ourselves to live in the
consistently
middle of
every day for a
deserts like
month,
Saudi Arabia
you
and
will not
UAE
see
and
immediate
Dubai and all these
results.
places, which look
I'm
like
telling you, I went to the
meccas,
gym
like out
consistently
of
for
the
a month.
sand.
I
I mean,
wasn't
they look
eating
like an
unhealthy stuff.
oasis
I
built
lost like 1 or 2 pounds,
the
and
sky.
then it would go
We
down,
have
and then it would go back up.
skyscrapers. Like,
That's
what are you
just how it
talking
is.
about?
Like a
Also,
whole
she's talking
year,
about
I would
fluctuating weight. Yeah, I go through that too. Because
have
sometimes during the
to
year I eat
really
more
work
than I do.
myself. There would have to be, like the biggest
She's once again making excuses for why she can't work out because she would just have to do too much of it.
loser.
That's
But
her. Her excuse is I shouldn't work out because I would have to work out too
yeah,
much.
The Biggest Loser is a horrible.
That's
If you seen the
crazy.
documentary, you should watch the
I should use
documentary
that
The
as my
Biggest Loser.
excuse with my wife when I
But for me,
really
I
get
would have
overweight,
to
like at
find someone who
200
could
again.
get
If
me
I
on a
get 200,
workout.
I'll be going
And
to the gym
mind you,
myself.
doing
I
that for a
hate
whole
being
month,
that
I don't
heavy.
know, it would be more than
And again, I've never been that heavy in my life until I've gotten older now. But like I said earlier, when I went to detox at 22 or whatever, 23, I was like 113 pounds. I looked like a skeleton. Looked like I was freed from like a camp of some
a
kind,
1 year plus thing.
like a
And it's not
Scientology
even
camp
the
or
issue of
something where
eating
they're
healthy
starving
or
people.
things like that. When I do certain things, there's like immediate results. When I starved myself, my brain tells me, oh, you starved yourself, so you have immediate results. I starved myself for a whole
But
week and
you
lost
don't.
100 pounds. I'm like, well, if I starve
No, you didn't. You did not starve yourself enough to lose 100 pounds, unless it was over like an entire year, in which case that's not starving yourself. That's just reducing your calories slightly. Losing 20 pounds, that would be losing about 8 pounds a month. You're losing 2 pounds a week. That's nothing. That's literally water weight. If that was over a whole year, if you lost that in a month, yeah, I'd question that. And I'd love to see the receipts on that then, that you went from 380 to 280 or whatever, or fucking 280 to 180 in 1 month. And that you were diagnosed with extreme. Because you love to talk about all your mental disorders. You have never mentioned this one before once. You've never mentioned eating disorder before, ever. Unless you're eating disorders that you eat everything in front of
myself,
your
I can lose the
face.
pounds. Then I could get skin
This is so
removal surgery.
stupid.
Then I
It's
can
so
start eating
insulting to
healthy,
people with real
which I
eating
haven't
disorders
eaten
that are
healthy.
like
If
very
I do the
serious.
things
Like I
that
said,
works
I used to be
faster, then
slightly
that would be great.
anorexic.
But
Like
that's not healthy.
I weighed
That's what my brain
113 pounds
tells
at one
me
point.
to
Like
do these
I
unhealthy things to
thought
lose weight.
that I looked
It's not
better, less
about
weight, because you
not
could see
wanting
my
to put
abs
in the
better and
work.
stuff. But I
I
really
was
was just
going
like
to the gym
skeleton muscle.
consistently and
Now
not
I know
seeing
I'm
any
a little bit
results.
overweight, but
And
I'm
it would
also
have to be
older. I'm
something that
35. I'm
works for me,
married. I
not
don't
just what
really
I
change as
decide to do.
much.
I would need like a personal trainer.
Oh, she
When
needs
I
a.
was in
See, this is what I'm talking about. She's saying that she's so out of shape she can't do it on her own. She needs a personal trainer. She needs a personal gym. She needs them to work on her time. She can't just go. when the personal trainer wants you to go, early in the morning when it's most effective for you and stuff, and you feel it through the rest of the day, your body can recover for the next day. No, she needs a personal
High
trainer and
school,
all
I
this
was
shit.
supposed to get a nutritionalist,
A
but the
nutritionist, by the way.
nutritionalist, I never got
Not
that
a
because I
nutritionalist, a nutrition. God, she's so stupid. It's not nutritional, it's
was almost close to 400 pounds
whatever.
in high school. I was not overweight
Close to 400 pounds in high school, but you were not
when I
overweight
was younger.
when you were
I
younger?
actually was not overweight. I
How is that possible? You talk all the time you're 5 feet tall. You were 400 pounds in high school, but you weren't overweight when you were younger? What do you mean by younger? When you were fucking 8? Because you talked about yourself at 10 like you had a fucking big ass booty and some big ass tatas. You talked about yourself that way, not me. So it sounds like you were already hitting 182. Like you were already heavier than me
had
at
a
fucking
nice body,
10.
but I ate myself that way because people bullied me because I took it out on myself. And because I don't
Oh my
take it out on
God,
others, I take it out on
that's
myself.
low. I
So I
keep
ate and
saying.
ate and ate, and I binge ate because I hated myself
Now suddenly she's bit. Her eating disorder now is binge eating, not being anorexic.
because
And I know sometimes they go in hand, but she doesn't know that. She's fucking so stupid. She's changed her story mid
they called
story.
me fat. So I took it out on myself. They called me ugly. So I took it out on myself. This kid
A minute ago, she said when they did that to her, she took it out on herself by not eating, and she claimed she lost 100 pounds. She didn't specify a time frame, which again, if it was over a year, that's 8 pounds a month, girl. That's 2 pounds a week. Anyone can lose that by literally decreasing your calories by 10%.
looked me in the face and said,
So
we were on the bus and he said, do you know you're ugly? I would be sitting at the back of the bus because that was the only seat that was open, was the last seat at the back of the bus. This kid, I
again, you're a pathological liar. It's very hard to believe that you were always stuck at the back of the bus. At the same time, though, you're so weird and awkward and have so few friends and have no friends from high school that it is kind of
forget his
believable.
name.
So, and if someone said that to you, that's fucking rough, and that definitely would stick with you. But look in the fucking mirror. What do you see now? And she's such a liar. She would say, "I look beautiful." Or, I could use a new shirt. I could use, new clothes. I could use stuff that I can buy that will make me look better, not changing who I am on the inside or outside.
He
Like,
would
what?
joke all the time. He would
It's not a
pretend that he
joke.
likes me. I wouldn't believe it because I'm not
By
stupid.
the way, that might, okay, kids when they're that age, depending on what age she's talking about, she's talking about like 13 or whatever. That might mean that he likes you. But she's like, I'm not stupid. She's so fucking paranoid. Like looking back on it, she has such paranoia. That's why I always bring up the schizoaffective or schizotypal disorders, or maybe even
I
just
already
straight
know
up
what's coming.
schizophrenia, like her
And
dad.
then he would turn around and he would say, this is exactly what he said. Psych. He would be like, psych, I don't want to date you. Like, psych. And they did that
It's like
all
out
the
of a
time in middle
movie. They
school.
did that. That's literally from a movie that came out back then. I can't even remember. It wasn't American Pie. There was a movie back then that did that. I can't remember. Maybe Euro Trip or
They would
something.
say, oh, he wants to date you. Oh, he wants to date you. No, psych, you're too ugly. Like, that's
It's
a
from a
lot.
fucking
I
movie.
would
You're
just be
just
walking
getting mocked. Oh my
down the
God, I'm
hall and they
sorry
would
this went
just
so
straight
long
up
with
say
this.
that to me, to my face. Like, psych, you're ugly. I didn't date anyone in school. That's how I felt.
Let's
So then
read
I
past
binge
this
ate.
more
Nobody wanted me.
because
I'm
while she's
ugly.
talking, I'm
I,
just gonna
I, I
go on
alienated. I didn't have friends. My friends in middle school all went to
And
different
now
high
she's talking
schools.
about
And
earlier she had said she had tons of friends. Now
then when
she's
two
like,
of
I
the people I
barely
knew
have
came
friends.
to my high school, I
See, she always changes her story like mid
was
video.
in a
It's
different grade
crazy.
than them. I was like one grade up from them.
Midstream
And when
for
they
her.
came to
She
the school,
can't
we were
keep
in
the
different
story
grades, so we
straight
didn't
for
really get to see
shit.
each other as much.
It's
My other friend, like my
unbelievable.
elementary
It's almost unbelievable that she can't
school
even
friend, we didn't really keep in
accidentally
touch
keep
except
the
on
story
Facebook.
straight.
We didn't hang out, but the
Even
other ones we did
once.
kind of hang out. We went to a church thing. It was like a thing over the summer, so we went, and the church picked us up, and then they would bring us home. That's the only time I hung out with her. I was around a lot of girls that had babies and kids at a young age, and I'm like, nobody wants me like that. So I thought horrible of myself, and I shouldn't think like that because
Tophia is now complaining that she didn't get knocked up at 16. Like, where are we, you guys? What universe is this? Is this a real? I'm like touching things to see if this is real, if I'm in a matrix. All of a sudden, she was so sad because she was too ugly to get knocked up in high school. I thought you were the shit, Tophia. I thought you looked amazing. I thought you were the shit. I thought everyone was here to see you, and no one was here for you to see them. So full of it.
I was a teenager. That shouldn't
Fucking
even be
liar.
on my mind. But for me, seeing all these girls and seeing all the attention they were getting from guys, that really affected me because it's just like, wow, I'm that ugly. When I was 10, my friends ditched me they didn't want to be my friends till this guy was around, and then they would pretend to be my friend.
I don't believe that they dish you because they didn't want to be your friend anymore for no reason. There was a kid that we kind of thought, like, okay, when you're in middle school, you're really horrible, and like you're a horrible kid when you're in middle school. And as someone that works in a middle slash high school, and I've seen like the higher grades in middle school, it's still kind of like that, and even like freshman year of high school, kind of where you're finding your footing and stuff. But middle school kids are horrible to each other. They say the worst things ever because they're still learning like what is and isn't fully socially acceptable. And
They started to
so
get jealous because he liked me, and that really affected
for
me because it's just like, wow, I'm that ugly. When I was 10, my friends ditched me. They didn't
like for them to ditch or attend, like we started ditching this kid because he would just follow like it would be clear we didn't want to hang out with him, but he would force himself in anyway. And like for example, we would play a game and he would start playing it, just to try and fit in with us. Or like, we would do something and he would start doing it and eventually like piss us off and like we used to make fun of him. Like I'll be honest, I was a fucking little asshole when I was, 10 to 13. Most girls that age are too. And we were kind of mean to this guy. And eventually he joined another friend group, and but they made fun of him too because he was just someone that like put himself where people didn't want him to be, and like forced himself into these situations because he wanted to hang out with kids more popular than him and stuff. It was so weird. Like, and it got to the point where like he once threatened, like he was talking about violence and stuff, like shooting up the school or something. And like we actually went and talked about it. And I think he got in trouble because of it. And my goal wasn't to get in trouble because of it, but like we had to go and be like, listen, this guy like he hangs out with us, but we don't. It was very weird. That's all I'll say. It was
want to
very
be my
weird.
friends till this guy was around, and then they would
And this was when
pretend
we
to be
were,
my friend.
in
They started
like
to get jealous
I don't
because
know,
he liked
11th
me, and they
grade.
didn't like that. They
I
were
was in middle
jealous,
school.
and I know
Not
they did
11th
because
grade,
you never
sorry,
say anyone's
11th grade,
jealous,
so like
but they were. I just
7th,
existed.
6th
I
grade.
didn't do anything. Like I remember having
Yeah.
conversations. We would sit
Yeah.
on the wall.
So I know
There's
what
this
she's
wall
talking
at the
about.
apartment I lived at, and we would sit there.
I
We would
remember
have
another time
conversations all the
I
time
went
about
home with someone when I
wrestling
was like
because I liked
13,
wrestling at the time, and he
and
liked
I think I
wrestling.
fell on
We
the
would just
ice
have
afterwards
these
too, and I embarrassed the shit
conversations.
out of
Then
myself.
I guess
I
they
was like
started to notice some
crying while I
things,
was
and
having
then she
some
wrote a
food,
letter
and I
to
feel so
herself.
bad
I
about it.
told you, fake
Last time
friend,
I
and wrote a
saw him
letter
in
to herself,
person,
making
because he
it seem like he
stopped
wrote a
going to
letter
our
to her. I'm not
school. Because I wasn't the only one that picked on this guy either. Because he did the same thing. Like we would be walking home, and he would like shove. He would always join us, and like we would make fun of him, and he'd like join along and make fun of him, like make it his personality that he was just the guy that got picked on. It's like, dude, that's not cool. It's not funny. Like we don't really want to hang out with you because we just don't like you can't force yourself to be someone's friend. And then when you're that age, you're really mean.
stupid. I already
Like
knew
yes,
she
I
wrote the
believe
letter to
people
herself, but she
were
tried to
mean
play
to
it off as
her
like
around that
she didn't
age.
write the letter to herself.
Kids
She was
are
trying to
really
get me
mean
to
from
back off.
like
That's not gonna work.
9
Like
to
he doesn't like
13
you. When they
especially.
went around and he wasn't going to his friend's house, he would hang out with me and we would talk about wrestling. And now that I started talking about that, that reminded me of the conversations we had. Like when you have close conversations with someone, when you become close with someone, it just hurts because you can't turn that part of your brain off. And at that time I was 10, and I'm not talking about that, but there's other things more recently
I don't know,
where
when she
I
was
can
10, you
be
guys,
in a
and that's what I
relationship
was
where I can
comparing it to. Something in middle school for me that I no longer talk about. Why is this?
how do I say it? Like I have a more mature
Like,
brain
this
now
is
because
something
I'm
I was talking about from when I was
32. It's just like, oh, why
10 to
doesn't this person love me? We
13.
had these moments, and now all of a
I'm way past it. I'm just
sudden,
explaining that
it's like,
kids
oh,
that age are
turn
like little fuckers. Why
that
is this
off. You got to
people?
turn that off. Well, I wasn't 10 in middle school. Middle school, I was bullied. I talked about middle school, but when I
You
was in
would be
10, I was
10 in
when
middle.
I was 10,
Okay, so for the most part, you would be 10 in middle school. You'd be in fifth grade. Ninth grade is usually or fourth grade is usually 9 years old because kindergarten's 5. So 5, then you're 6 in first grade, you're 7 in second grade, you're 8 in eighth grade, you're 9 in ninth grade, and you're 10 in fifth grade. Sorry, you're 9. 1 through 4. I did the wrong numbers. I did 9 instead of 4. The point is, kindergarten to ninth grade is 5 through 9, and then 10th grade would be middle school. Or at least, sorry, it would be middle school where I went, where it was kindergarten through 4, then 5 through 8, and then 9 through 12. Where I work right now is actually split differently. It's 7 through 12. So half of the
I was
middle
in
school I
elementary
went
school,
to
but I was
in the
talking
building, but
about
they have their own
certain things. I
floor,
don't
this
even
building
know.
too.
Oh, Lord, I got ants growing on
The
me.
top floor is
I
owned
am
by the
focusing on the
school.
current day. I know that going to a gym for a month doesn't magically make you skinny. That's not what I'm talking about. But going to the gym does not help you lose weight. A personal trainer will tell you that.
Yes, it
People
does.
think
No personal trainer would ever tell you that. I don't know where she got this information from what fucking stupid AI or TikTok video she got it from. Any personal trainer will tell you that if you go to the gym and you do tons of cardio and you do more cardio, it helps you burn more calories than you take in. So let's say you eat 2,000 calories perfect on the nose every day. If you go ride a bike and you're down 300 from that, You go to 1,700 calories a day, which is where you're in weight loss territory because you're below the 2,000 or whatever it is for you, your 3,000 calories a day needed to maintain your weight. That is how it works. Any physical trainer will tell you that. Lifting weights will not accomplish that, and it's hard to do with cardio, but that is how you do it. Lifting weights does give some cardio. Sorry, I lied
that
about
they can
that.
go to the
And it
gym and
depends on
just
the
work
weight.
out and do these
But
things and they're gonna lose weight.
it's not just working out, it's doing specifically cardio, specifically things that burn calories as rapidly as possible, which is cardio.
I'm not
The other things don't burn calories as much as they build muscle
overweight,
in
okay?
terms of like
But
the
to be
exchange
honest
you're
with
getting
you,
out of it.
people that are fit
Cardio is
have said
for
going to the
heart
gym does
health
not help you
and
lose
for
weight. I
weight.
just went because I like to walk on the treadmill and get
That's
some exercise in
bullshit.
to strengthen my
That's
body.
bullshit.
I had no
Bullshit.
expectation
You think
of
you
losing weight
went
because
there
when you go
not thinking you would lose weight walking on a treadmill? That either means that you knew you were eating way more to make up for it already. Like you would have had to know this because it's the most basic thing anyone that's ever watched like the most basic TikTok or anything about going to the gym. More calories in equals gained weight, less calories in equals losing weight. It's so
in there,
simple.
you ain't gonna lose weight. You have to expect that. And I'm
Like it's so simple a caveman can do it. A 5-year-old could
not
explain it to
saying
you.
1 month, even consistently, that's not
Like,
gonna help you to lose weight. When
yes,
people
it
say just go eat a salad
will.
or eat healthy, that's not how you lose weight
Oh my God, how you do it, Tophia? How does Tophia do it, you
either.
guys? What do we
You have
think?
to find specific things for your body because every body type is different. If I'm not
Ah,
doing what works
okay.
for my body,
So you need to go through everything first to lose weight. You need to try every exercise there is. You need to try every diet there is, which is why you need a personal trainer, you need a dietitian, you need, as Sophia says, a nutritionalist. You might also need a nutritionist too, because those are real. You'll also need like a like a gopher named Joe that will slap the mocha latte out of your hand every time you go to Starbucks. Like, what else do you need, Tophia, from the studio?
then it's not going to work.
You're
I'm
not
just gonna be
capable
at
of
the
that
same
shit
weight
on
I'm
your
at. I'm
own.
gonna
You're a
lose one
fucking
pound
lose. You're a fucking
and then
loser.
gain the pound
You're
back.
a
It's gonna
loser
repeat
if
a
you can't
cycle.
do it.
I don't eat that much Reese's cups or Kit Kats. I
Liar.
can't
I
afford
actually do,
to
and
pay
that's
a
why I
personal
gained weight.
trainer.
Because my
If I
dad
was
gets a lot of
rich,
mini ones. My
then I
dad's
wouldn't
fucking
look like
diabetic, so
this.
he's
I don't think
nasty.
I'm
And he
overweight.
buys a
Google
lot of
can't
them and
help
he ends
me
up eating them
because a
because they're so
personal trainer. Okay,
delicious.
so
They're not
it's
the
more
full
your
size
body
ones, they're
type
the mini
and not
ones,
just
which
body
makes it
type of
even more
looking up. Oh, I got an
insidious.
apron belly. How do
Because
I
like
work
the
that out?
serving
Like
size
no,
for one is
I
three
don't
of
know what
them,
my
but you're
skin
like,
is.
oh
If
my
it's
God, I
oily,
eat fucking
if it's
20 of this fucking
combination.
thing.
That's why I would have to go to a
It's like every
dermatologist.
time I
That's what
eat
I mean.
three, I'm
I
like,
have
God
to go to someone
fucking
that can
damn it,
tell
I'm not
me
going. And I'm
because they're
not
more
going.
educated in that than I am. Yeah, Google could say, hey, this is what you need to do. Someone that you pay
Yeah, someone more educated, like Google, could say, yeah, this is what you need to do. But someone you pay, which she hasn't done, by the way, let's just be clarified. She's about to say that someone you pay will say differently than Google, but she doesn't know that because she's never paid anyone for this service. So let's listen if that's
knows
if I'm right.
exactly what works for you. And your body is different than someone else's body. Yeah, I could have an apron belly and someone could have an apron belly, but then again, you have to really think about it. Yeah, we
But then again, I could have the same thing as someone else, but then again, you have to really think. This is why I keep pausing. What does that mean?
both have the similarities, but my body internally is different than their body.
No shit. Everyone has unique biochemistry. Everyone has unique bioneurochemistry. Brain plasticity. Everyone's brain is different. Everyone's organs aren't identical. Otherwise, you could fucking transplant your fucking fatty ass liver into two fucking people that need it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Sophia? No shit. No shit. Everyone's body chemistry is slightly different. Thanks for that. Thanks for that huge, insightful contribution to sports medicine and health. Are you out? How dumb? Like,
Not
are you
everyone
guys
had
kidding
had
me?
to have heart surgery. Not everyone had a pericardial effusion.
Unbelievable.
Not everyone had an abscess. Not
You're
everybody's gonna go
right.
through the
Not
same health
everyone's
problems that I
had
am.
those
That's what I
things. It's
mean.
really
So I
bad
don't
that you
drink
have
sodas
them
every
by
day.
that
Well,
age,
I had been
and
recently
you're taking that shit.
started
It's
drinking that
really bad that you've had all those problems with your heart and you're morbidly obese. Just to throw that out there. Maybe getting your ass on that treadmill a couple days a week that you say doesn't help will actually keep your ass alive to 100 like you want it to. So you're not gonna make it to 100 at the rate you're going.
Dr. Pepper's
I mean, I probably won't either, but and I do want to live forever, but I'm just realistic, I've used drugs for years, like I did terrible shit. I didn't take great care of myself. I smoked. Even after you give up smoking, it has to be like 20 years before your rate drops to a non-smoker again, and it's only been, I don't know, maybe, like, since I quit cigarettes, it's been years. Since I quit vaping, either 1 or 2 years now, I can't remember. Either way, yeah.
but I don't drink it every day. I still had Dr. Peppers because I didn't drink them every day. Actually, I do drink orange juice, candy. I don't. I wasn't eating candy every day. Like yeah, I
Liar. Sophia, you did it on stream every day. What are you fucking talking
just bought
about?
candy, but I don't like. Yeah, I do
Yeah, I just bought candy, but like I didn't eat it. I just bought it to leave it there for the
eat it every
stream.
day, but it wasn't like I was doing that. I
Yeah, and I did eat it every day, but it's not like I was doing that. Is that
just
what you
recently
just
started
said?
buying candy because I've been craving chocolate. But yeah,
So I started buying candy because I was craving chocolate, but I didn't eat it or anything. It's just like, what do you think? I just bought it and ate it?
recently I
You fucking moron.
haven't been eating those things every day. I haven't really been eating
Oh,
unhealthy
recently,
things.
what? It's like Caleb Hammer when you go on and like you like for like a day before you financials, you pretended to be better. It's like, what is recent for you, Tophia? A day, 3 days. Usually it's 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months for habits to form or be broken. And so what is it, Sophia? You for 3 days, 3 weeks? Sounded more like it was 3 fucking hours, girl.
I do know how many calories I'm ingesting because when you look at what
You
you're eating,
don't.
what you're drinking, and when you're calculating your calories,
There's no fucking way she knows how many calories she's ingesting, and whatever number she would give is an absolute lie.
yeah, I do know how much calories, and it's below 2,000 calories. I should be
Okay, guys, that is an absolute lie. It is physically impossible. That is physically impossible for her to be having a sub 2,000 calorie diet and be as large as she is. Physically impossible, especially at 5 foot inches or 5 foot 0 inches. Physically impossible, you guys. I'm telling you, it is not. It is not possible according to the laws of biology, physics, and chemistry. I'm telling you,
that's not going to be good in
what she
calories a
just said is
day. That's why some
impossible.
days I eat more than other days because I'm
That's
not eating
such a
the right
lie.
calories. That's not going to work, especially if you're not eating 2,000 calories
That
daily
is
or you're
such
eating
a
below
lie,
that.
you guys.
That's not going to be good. And
I
especially some days
cannot
I don't even eat
emphasize
at
that
all
enough.
because if
What a
I'm stressed or if I'm
liar.
not feeling good, I'm not hungry. Then I can't eat.
Sub 2,000
And some
calories,
days
my
it's like
ass.
2 days.
You're enormous, Sophia. Like, dude, I know that I've gained weight and I'm 183 versus like 168 to 175 is like my ideal range, you know? So I'm like, 8 pounds above the high end of my ideal range, of my lower end of my ideal range, like 15 pounds over. I'm 15 pounds overweight, Sophia, and or of my low end, and that's a lot to me. I don't believe you for, and I know I'm not taking. Well, now that I'm overseas, I do eat a lot less, so I might lose weight just from that year, just from sub 2,000 calorie diets. But who the fuck are you kidding that you eat less than 2,000 calories a day? I'm sorry I had to pause this one again, you guys, that this has gone to an hour 20. I wanted this to end already, but
Days or 3 days I'm
that
not
is a
feeling good,
lie.
and then I'm not eating for 2 or 3 days because I'm not
That is a
hungry.
lie.
And then because I didn't
There's no way you don't eat for 2 or 3 days because you stream your entire life and we watch you eat every single stream at some point. You eat something. Yeah, tell me you fucking know what a hunger strike is like Mahatma Gandhi.
eat for 2 or 3 days, then I get super hungry
That's
and I eat
what.
all this food, right? And then
Unbelievable. Vocal, are you with me on that one? You think Tophia sees herself more as a Mahatma Gandhi type or more as a Nelson Mandela hunger strike type? Or you think both? What a fuck. Fuck
it
you.
doesn't help. I know when
I don't eat for a few days. Fuck you.
I
Yeah,
don't feel
tell
good, I
that to
don't eat.
someone. Tell
I'm
that
not
to someone who
morbidly obese
actually
though.
goes on a hunger
Morbidly
strike
obese is
for
someone that's like past
political or
400
social
pounds. I'm
reasons.
200 and something pounds.
I don't believe you. I think you're at least 300 pounds. If you are in the 200s, you're at least 280 pounds. You're 5 feet tall. There's no way. It's physically not possible, you guys. Like, and I'm not even like gonna invent a scale like, oh, X amount of pixels is like Y amount of feet in real life. I'll let someone else figure that shit out. You guys can use shadows and sine and cosine if you want to fucking figure that shit out. I don't really care. Go for it if you want to. You get as close as you want. But the point is, there's no fucking way you weigh like 200 pounds, Sophia. I weigh 183. I'm again maybe a foot taller than you, but there's no way because my wife, who's smaller than you, like it weighs way less than 200, like way less, like closer to 100. Like way closer to 100. You're an inch taller than her, and you're at least 20 waist sizes bigger. I'm not even joking. Like the size difference between the two is enormous, and their height. My wife, again, inch shorter. So, like, it's just physically impossible, you guys. This was
Society
such a
has told
lie.
people
I'm
This is
sorry
what
I
obese
paused
is, and
so
you just
long
go by
on
what
that,
society says.
but
And
that
according
was a
to what society
lie,
says,
guys,
a
and I
lot of
had
us
to
are
point
ugly.
that shit
Isn't
out.
that
That
messed
was
up
a
to think?
blatant
According to
lie.
what society puts out there,
Holy
you're ugly.
shit.
And yes, I get it. People have to love
That
someone that
has
they're
nothing to do with
attracted to.
society. That
If they're
has
not
to
attracted
do
to
with
you, then they're
you
not gonna
being
love
a
you. I
fucking
don't know what my
liar.
BMI is. I'm not 280 pounds.
You don't know what your BMI is, but you know that you're not overweight and you know that you're in good shape, but you don't know what your BMI is because I know that mine's in the overweight category right now. If I'm 183. It's at 178, it's like right on the line, you know. So when I passed it, when I hit 180, it was like more, I was actually more like 180 because I had all my clothes on, my shoes and everything, but just blood, get my blood donated, but whatever. Like,
260
no
something. I would
way.
have
There's no way you're 260. There's no way. It's physically
been
impossible.
at a healthy weight if I
Physically
didn't
impossible.
binge eat myself, but I took it out on myself because people bullied me and called me ugly. No, I'm not 300 pounds. I'm 200 and yeah, I'm 200 and I'm almost close to 300 pounds.
I'm two. Yeah, I'm not 300 pounds. I'm 200 and 200 and yeah, I'm close to 300 pounds. That's some Charlie Murphy fucking. That's some Charlie Murphy, James Brown. Yeah, I don't remember grinding. I wouldn't grind my shoes on Charlie Eddie's couch. I got more sense than that. I don't just go around grinding my shoes on people's couch. Yeah, yeah, I remember when I grinded my shoes on Eddie's couch. She just pulled a fucking Charlie Murphy, you guys. Vocal. She just fucking pulled a Charlie Murphy joke, all right? She just unintentionally pulled a Charlie Murphy. I'm gonna fucking timestamp my
Like
video for you for
260,
this. I just really want
69.
you to see this.
I don't know. I have the
What
scale
fucking
like a
time is
brick.
that for me?
Like, yeah.
About an
I'm not
hour
giving people
20.
fitness advice. That's why I said that it's better
No,
to talk to a
I gotta
professional
give, I
because they
gotta
know
send
what works for
Vocal
you. Nowhere
my
did I say
fucking
to get
message
fitness
to him. I
advice
gotta
from
say,
me.
check out
I don't
my
even get paid to give people
commentary
fitness
where she
advice.
does this.
You know, that's the thing that
Oh
I
my
struggle
God,
with.
what the
A lot
fuck?
of
That was so
people,
fun.
like, they're just confident,
That
right? They
was so unintentionally funny by her. That's amazing.
go
That's
out there and they tell this person, oh, I
insanity.
love you. Or they show interest in a
She
person
just
and they get that
fucking
person. For me, I
pulled
go
a
out there
Prince joke on herself.
and then it never really works out. How do people
I'm not 300 pounds. Yeah, I'm not 300 pounds. I'm 200. I'm not 300 pounds. I'm two. I'm not 300 pounds. I'm two. Yeah, yeah, I'm about 300 pounds. That's a fucking Charlie. That's a fucking Rick James, right? Sorry, I said James Brown before. That's a fucking Rick James. How the fuck did I even get that wrong? That's wrong.
literally do that?
That's a Rick
People
James
have
right
that
there,
with heat,
bro.
and that's what
She
makes me
just
want to be
pulled a
done with
Rick
myself and not express my
James.
feelings to someone because then I get
She
hurt.
just
So then
pulled
I
a
just keep it
Rick
and keep
James,
it
you
to myself because
guys.
people confidently
She
go out and
thinks
do that.
she's got the swag like Rick
You know,
James.
I do
Oh
that
my
confidently, and
God,
then
that's
it doesn't really go anywhere. That doesn't
insanity.
work, buddy. That doesn't work. When you talk about staying consistent with someone that doesn't want to date you doesn't work. I get the staying consistent,
Wow,
but you
you
can't
finally
make
figured
somebody
that
want to
out.
be with you or make someone want
That's
to love you.
crazy.
That's what men are taught is if they're consistent, persistent, if they continue, that eventually the girl will say yes. But the girl is not saying yes because she wants to be with you. Sometimes they get frustrated and don't want to have to keep
Yeah, of
turning
course
you
they
down,
will.
so they say
Yeah,
yes
of course
sometimes.
every woman that is with
But
a
it has nothing
guy
to do with
just
consistency.
get. Okay, well, that would have everything to do with consistency if the only reason they say yes is because they're consistent, persistent every single time. That's literally what you just
So I
said.
think I'm just gonna go get some
Why
stuff.
you just
I have
hinged
some stuff I have
everything
to
you
do.
just said. You said
But
it.
have a
Now
good
you're
day or
saying
night.
it's nothing to do with consistency.
Don't forget to subscribe for
So
more
just
videos.
persistency then. So you just have to be
You can say, hey, start
persistent
a OF, or maybe I should. I
once,
didn't look like this in my
and
life.
then that's it. Okay. Anyway, Tophia's a moron. Like I'm gonna end this here because it's actually had a good time. It's like double, but you know, whatever, an hour 22. I really shouldn't have paused for some of those asides, but she's so boring at one point. The end of this was crazy. I gotta send Vocal that timestamp when I leave a comment for him. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Sophia's crazy. She's crazy, you guys. I mean, there's that like some of this stuff is just crazy. Like it's just crazy. There's no other words for it. It's crazy. The crazy things she says and does, like they don't make any sense in reality that we occupy at least. Maybe the one she occupies, but not ours. All right, thanks a lot, you guys. Damn, my ribs are killing me. I need a fucking new ice pack really bad. See you guys later.